I'm a little worried, Stugotz, that Greg is going to screw all this up.
What do you mean? I'm
He
hoping he does.
just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. Like, look, we make a lot of mistakes. For example, Chris, you want to play the Shadow Show thing, or did you forget? Did you just forget?
We were rolling here. I mean, Greg Cody was ready.
Forgot?
Right.
Yeah, you forgot? Okay, can you play
You
it?
started talking.
Well, he was supposed to play it. I started talking because you heard the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
did, yeah.
And he heard it too. But the
Shadow Show.
executive producers.
Yeah.
Shadow Show.
Incompetent.
Shadow Show.
Shadow
Shadow
my old
Show.
executive
Shadow
producer.
Show. Shadow Show. Shadow Show. Shadowing it.
So you were worried about Greg messing it up.
That's right.
Wow. How'd I do?
Well, we've got a big day today, and these Shadow Show people, many of them have been with us for a really long time, and we've got like a big announcement. Billy, how do you feel about the big announcement? I'm afraid that Greg, as is his wont, will reveal the big announcement before the big announcement, thus thwarting the big announcement because he scoops Cody. I think he's going to make a mistake today.
What big announcement?
All right, so we should be okay then, unless you then say what it is, not knowing what it is.
Right. That I'm more likely to expose the big announcement.
Wait a
not
minute.
knowing what it is.
You really don't know what we're announcing today? Scoops Cody would normally, at a time before Scoops Cody became the big star that he is now, Hee Haw 3, he used to care about Le Batard Show scoops.
Yeah, lead singer,
This
Hee
would
Haw
be
3.
this would be the biggest scoop he had since breaking my engagement story, would it not? He hasn't had a scoop about our show in a while.
You hadn't fed me one.
Right.
Feed me. I'm like a bird in a nest.
This would be the biggest story since then, unless you're getting divorced, which...
Was it that?
Right.
Wow, that'd be a good story.
Well, not
See if
for
you can
Dan.
make that happen.
Right.
Well, what do you mean? Like, I know the show has an anniversary coming up. I don't know when it is.
It's right now. I mean, that we're celebrating the anniversary now, but that's not the announcement.
Oh, I didn't bring a cake. Sorry.
You want to go out and get one?
Yeah, I think I will.
Carvel, please.
With 25 candles on it or whatever.
Well, be too many, but
Okay, 15?
You turn 70, right?
Eventually. God willing.
Is it September 21st?
I think that's the date of the celebration.
Well, when's the birthday, though? I mean...
You know, it's an undisclosed date just prior to that.
September 10th.
I mean, but dates, here's the thing. Greg knows as well as anyone else with leap years, who really knows what date actually is?
Exactly.
Days are just a construct of man, really.
Zagak.
Put it on the poll, please. Are days just a construct of man, really? Question mark.
It's a good point.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go on, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man, so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
You guys do realize that today, well, not really today, like Cody's birthday, 3 days after our actual anniversary, not on the day, you do realize that this is one of the most improbable stories in the history of sports media, that this jalopy full of shit would arrive at 20 years together. You understand how ridiculous and rare it is. Look at what surrounds me. Look at how it's aged.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Not nice to say about Greg, but I understand.
Greg, I can't believe you guys correctly executed a golden oldies thing while I was gone. The Metal Arc Media accomplished something. All that had to happen for it to get accomplished is I had to leave. Where is that package? Is it ready? Because Jessica pinballed in here today. She is, you think the cafecito gets to her. College football, she inhales and snorts. Look at her. Yes, her eyes are crossed from she wants to talk. I think I could give, not an F1 minute, I think I could simply, like uncaging a rodeo bull, I could say, Jessica, talk about college football, and she would not stop for 10 minutes.
Dan, what a weekend. Oh my God. I'm sitting in here with all the Canes fans. Notre Dame had a great weekend, and we are going feral right now for college football.
Can we set up a segment, Chris, please, before the end of the show, where we give Jessica the room that there's no way she will have on a Monday with as many gas bags in here as there are and as many things as we have to do today, because it's a giant day in our show's history, and we've got a giant announcement, and they're two different things. Like, we are going to be celebrating our 20th anniversary all year, just maximum navel gazing. Mike, what can I tell them about the project that is going to, the content project that's going to accompany what's going to be a year-long celebration of one of the goofiest stories in the history of sports media? It really is. It's asinine that we have reached 20 years.
I think you can tell them everything you want to, Dan, about that upcoming project that we're going to celebrate. Over the course of a year, it'll come out every 2 weeks, the first episode of what it is that we're going to do, and I'll let you take it away from there.
It's just an oral history. Mike has been working very hard. You may not yet see the fruit of all the stuff that we've changed around here. In fact, I've heard all your complaints because of the battering everything has taken around here. But now it takes flight. Like today, it takes flight. We're going to be able to get our audience all the things it's been missing for 3.5 years, because we've finally gotten our shit together, because it's super hard to basically what we've been doing for 3 years. Hey, radio show, want to actually become a TV show? All right, do it while you're doing it. Good luck with all that. And you've seen what's happened. It's been pretty uncomfortable and pretty unpleasant. But last week we executed a golden oldies thing. What we have not executed today, and I'm upset about this, I wanted Pipo today. Today's the day for Pipo, because you haven't heard me in 25 years say the U is back, and I am not prisoner of moment on the U. But they got a quarterback, and that means they're back.
We'll see.
All right.
Exactly right. I mean, one game against the Gators, not a very good team. The guy can't even open a water bottle. Thinks that there's basements in Florida. Like, come on. Billy Napier's a disaster. We can agree on that. Right?
Terrible.
Can we agree on that? Billy Napier. What are you doing?
Can we argue, Billy, about the bigger disaster right now? Because Florida State, oh my God, what a disaster last night, too. Opening the season 0-2. Somehow Boston College gets to say they beat the 10th ranked team in the country because there was no AP poll vote last week after week 0. Unbelievable. What a disaster for Florida State.
The good thing about
is more like it.
He's right about that.
All right, hold on a second.
What happened?
Hold on.
Sorry about that.
What?
Greg Cody, major penalty, 5 minutes, me maximum.
He wasn't
5 minutes.
He wasn't paying attention to anybody. He doesn't listen when other people are talking. He doesn't know where he is on Tuesdays.
I mean, small windows. He tried to squeeze a joke in.
He wasn't,
that's all.
He wasn't. Florida. The joke was Florida stink. Am I right?
Is it even a joke? No, he's right.
He's replaced, instead of Florida State, it's
right,
Florida
we
State.
get it.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
thought
fact,
he
though.
said
Right,
steak.
fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Florida steak. Huh.
Florida. You heard steak too,
I
right?
heard steak as well.
Well, here's the thing, guys, and I think we can all agree on this, right? With the new format, if you're going to lose twice in a week, do it early.
Yep.
That's what you guys were saying last week. That was the FSU argument. Yes, it is a bit shocking to see Florida and FSU stink. However, I will say of Cam Ward before we go any further, because it's not just 20-year anniversary, and it's not just that we've got a big announcement. It's also the University of Miami clearly has a quarterback. Like, even if it was easy against stinky Florida, I will just simply tell you that what Cam Ward gave off more than anything was unhurried. And I haven't seen that at the position since Ja'Cory Harris.
Right. That's amazing that you just said that. He gave off poise. He gave off confidence. He's obviously a good player. It's not just Cam Ward, though. That entire team was terrific.
But it helps when your quarterback moves around as if you can see the confidence on him.
Yes,
like it's a
no
super.
doubt.
Your Jets are going to have it this year if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. It's going to be a strange thing to watch in a Jets uniform. But
It's been a long time since we've seen Aaron Rodgers be good.
You just say he was the best thing since Ja'Cory Harris?
That was the joke, Billy. Thank you. Stay with us.
What's going on? Why is Greg not sitting in a penalty box? Why is he sitting with Taylor dressed up as a Gator
Well,
Ethan
this is what's happened. This is what's happened today. The Instigators came in today. They bought all this stuff. They were texting me all weekend. Dan, we want to be Lucy. We want to buy all the stuff. We want to have the toys. We want to have the expense account. We want to be the Instigators. And I'm like, sure, you can do that. That'll be funny. But they need to win. And
so this was going to be to troll me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They also need the budget. I mean.
Right.
And to win.
But more than the budget, they needed to win in order to do the characters of the Instigators. They had all sorts of stuff planned. This was going to be their star vehicle. They were going to finally get on the show. Ethan, I get in today. Hey, Dan, I got a top 5 list. I don't give a fuck. Why are you talking to me about your top 5 list, kid? You don't just get to have top 5 lists around here. You know how hard it is for Jessica to earn one of those?
You know what really happened? He said, I have a top 5 list, and Stugotz goes, I have a good top 5
list.
That's what I said.
That is what,
damn.
Without even hearing it, that is what actually Stugotz said. Do you have it right now?
I do.
All right, let's go to it right now. Hey, kid. Hey, instigator. This is how it works to do a top 5 list that you have confidence in. What does it look like, Stugotz?
These are the top 5 things that were happening in sports when Cam McCormick, tight end for the University of Miami, started to play college football.
How old is he? How old has he played?
He's in his 9th season.
Is it 8?
Yes.
It's 9 seasons.
Yes.
Apparently, Gameday had a really impressive piece on the young man, and the narrative around him kind of changed. Not necessarily on this show, which still takes the opportunity to laugh at him. But people really actually get to see that his story is an inspiring one, and I don't think people were familiar with everything that he'd overcome. They just think that he's Van Wilder.
Stugotz, this is just top 5 things that happen in sports, not politics. So it doesn't include Donald Trump's inauguration in 2016 because that happened after he enrolled in college, apparently.
Thank you, Jess, for clarifying, because it is top 5 things, mostly in sports, one outside of sports.
Okay, it's a long name for a list. Hopefully at some point here we will get to Pipo, the announcement, and to celebrating our 20-year anniversary. I do want to talk about Florida. I do want to talk what a disaster Napier is, because I read a report, and please tell me it's true, that he exchanged words with Albert the alligator, that the guy in the costume that they were arguing. I got to find the source on this. I have it written down somewhere. You guys haven't heard this?
Costume.
Was I faked out on this? I'm going to find the sourcing on this so it's not just me saying it or being full. Okay, let's see. It's the Conquering Hero on Twitter says that there were words between Albert the alligator and Napier. Is it true? No one knows?
The alligator can talk? I mean,
is there a blue check next to the Conquering Hero?
Yes.
Oh, then you can trust it implicitly
Thank
on
you
that website.
very much.
100%.
By the way, when you're down 38-10 at home headed into the 4th quarter and you're the Gators, you got to bail on the Tom Petty song. It's embarrassing. Don't do it. Pull the plug. I mean...
Yeah. Love that song.
Back down.
I know you love the song, but if you're the Gators and the fans, you don't sing it, you don't do it, you pull the plug on the entire thing. You're down 28 to the Canes at home. What are you doing?
One of my favorite moments is being there with all those Canes fans singing that song, because we were pretty much the only people in that stadium singing that song. I have really pressured back channels to make sure that song is played at Miami home games. Henceforth, that's our song now.
I didn't see anything funnier this weekend than Jay Norville, the coach for Colorado State, on the sideline, down 38-0, still having some sad guy with a banner blocking his play calling. It's like, you're down 38-0, dude. I don't think they're checking your
they're not
your
working.
This poor guy. Look at him. He's just like left, right.
Try telling them to play. See if that works. I mean...
Let's do this list from Stugotz. These are things that were happening in the world the last time. 9 years, this kid, the tight end, has been
9
playing.
years,
McCormick
yeah.
has been playing for 9 years.
Things that are
at
happening
UM.
in sports,
It's
but also one
embarrassing.
thing that happened in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Number 5.
OLI, Dan.
Oh, wow, I'm sorry.
Yep. Obama was still president. The Cubs still hadn't broken the curse of the Billy Goat. Number 5, Tom Brady was still a Patriot. Number 4, Phillip Rivers was still a Charger and had 5 seasons to go.
How many kids, though?
Not sure.
That's where I thought you were going with 5. And he only had 5 kids.
Number 3, Lamar Jackson hadn't yet won the Heisman Trophy. Number 2, Peyton Manning won his 2nd Super Bowl, called by Jim Nantz and Phil Simms because Tony Romo was still playing. And number 1, Kevin Durant was still a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a top 5.
Ethan, you want to come in here and see if an instigator has a better top 5? We're going to put monster pressure on you right now.
Ethan was still in college.
Instigator. He's still
eager. He's ready. He's already in
He
here.
still smelled like embryonic fluid back when Stugotz
I was in high school.
Was doing.
This is my senior year of high school.
All right, enough. Just give us the
enough. Let's move through this, okay? I don't want jazz hands here. Instigator, yeah. No, not a little lippy. No, very comfortable in front of the microphone. Those are earned.
I have
all right,
3
Ethan?
OLIs.
All right, let's run through it.
There was a lot of embarrassing things this weekend.
All right, what is your list? Wait, let's set this up correctly. Hold on a second.
Slow down.
Because he's coming for the throne, okay?
My heart's racing.
Okay, let's slow it down and speed it up and put the pressure on the instigator. He wants to be on the show, all right? I got enough white boys around here. I don't need more white boys around here. I don't.
That's going to get aggregated.
Huh.
OLI.
It's an unfortunate thing that you just said.
At one point, Miami, it was very obvious they were punting, and the Gators didn't have a punt returner on the field for about 30 seconds.
Very wordy.
And the phlegm was coming up.
Yeah. We called a timeout after a 5-minute timeout following a kickoff.
That's actually a kickoff. Okay, I got it.
Before calling out the fans in, quote, rural Central Florida yesterday, Billy Napier said, "We need to work on the football part."
Funny.
All right, number 5. We let up a touchdown to a guy that has been in school since 2016.
All right.
Number 4, Billy Napier couldn't open his water bottle. Number 3, 3 players on the kickoff team at one point ran to the wrong side of the field.
I hear your breathiness. It was like my first show.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
He's coming for Taylor stuff, though.
Number 2, Miami players were celebrating with recruits on a visit to Gainesville in the end zone after the game. Inexplicably, they were on the Miami sideline. Usually they're on the Florida sideline. This time they were in the Miami corner. Can't explain that.
We're all looking for who did this.
Yeah, Billy Napier.
I can only imagine how mad Mike Fuentes is right now.
I can only imagine how happy Taylor is.
Number 1, that dork, Mario Cristobal, gator chomping on our home field.
All right, get out of here and go sit in the penalty box and quit bothering me when I come into work, all right? I don't want to hear about your top 5 list.
Was it terrible?
Can we talk about the gator chomp thing? Can we watch the video? I'm not going to say it was a little cringe, but it was a little cringe.
Well, I want to talk about that game for a minute because Greg Cody is here, and there are many Greg Cody things to celebrate here. Not just that he's got another book coming out, not just that he's got a hit podcast, The Greg Cody Show, featuring Greg Cody. He wrote a column off of UF. He did so from Key West. He did so in his underwear.
Attaboy.
I have questions to ask him about that column. But before we do all of that, Billy,
Yes,
I want to introduce the audience here because it's been so long, Billy. This is very frustrating to me that I run this company, but I don't actually run this company because I say and ask for things and they don't happen. I offered today and was searching all weekend for a paid appearance fee for Pipo. He won't come in.
Paid appearance fee?
People will not come in, and I don't know why he won't come in. So, video, can you get for me, please, a reintroduction? I want to do this going forward as part of our 20-year anniversary, year-long celebration, Stugotz. We're going to birth a lot of navel-gazing content that I think our audience is going to really like. And one of those things is going to be behind the behind the bit, beyond the bit, whatever it is that it's called.
Behind the bit.
Yeah. I like behind the pit.
Yeah.
That worked.
Beyond the pit.
Yes, we should. Yes. Well, however you want.
As long as we get Pipo, we're good.
Thank you.
Stadium this weekend.
Thank you, Ethan. This is how it works, Ethan. See, you stumble on a word, and look, the piranha arrived. That's how it is around here.
Live.
So, Instigator, what is he doing out there writing things? You got to look sad. I told you got to look sad, Instigator.
It's going to be hard for Taylor to look sad after that Ethan performance.
Yeah.
two grinning gators right now.
You guys got to stay in character.
Like the alien xenomorph. A smile reveals another smile.
It's unbelievable. You guys play this game correctly, all right? If you want to be on the show, you got to be sad as instigators because Mike Ryan won, and nobody here wants Mike Ryan to win.
The thing you don't get, Dan, is that everybody out there is rooting for everyone else out there to fail. Like, and there's like a whole like dynamic. So like there's like the Fuentes and like the video crew, and their whole like objective in this entire thing isn't like getting things out on time or anything. It's like make sure Taylor fails at everything that he does.
How do I sabotage
right?
Taylor?
Exactly right. They're constantly trying to sabotage Taylor. And then Ethan came in, and now Ethan is the person that Taylor is hoping that fails, because then kind of the heat goes off of Taylor. So like Ethan is like the grandchild of like the video department that hates Taylor.
Do you understand how flawed a company we're building when every new employee who comes in is wished failure by all the people above him? I know you like that, Billy, because you
like
started
the honesty,
the game,
to be perfectly honestly.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the upfrontness of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no wondering, do these people want me to fail? You just know as soon as you get in. Oh, they do.
We're not that different from actual respected institutions. We
Correct.
just say it out loud.
Yes.
We don't play this backstabbing game of politics behind the scenes. We front stab you.
I mean, Dan, go to Wall Street. When the new hotshot trader walks in, everyone is rooting for that guy to be an absolute failure.
Yeah.
I mean, this place is no different.
It's true in any walk of life, I think. Like if you go into a car lot, you know, and the 5 salesmen are in there,
Greg's
you
right.
think they're all rooting for each other
No.
to sell a car?
No,
they're not. And teachers, you know, if I'm a teacher, I sort of want the other teacher not to do well. You know, let's have him or her get in trouble for showing up late for work.
It's like when you work at a restaurant and you're the old server and a new server comes in.
Yep.
You don't want them to have success.
It's like if you're Tom Cruise on the set of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell comes around like, yeah, look, this is our franchise. I know what we're trying to do for you, Top Gun : but, you know, just go with the flow a little bit. This is still the Tom Cruise show.
Chris is right about the server. The new server comes in. He's young. He's got a great memory. He's not writing anything down. He's doing it all off memory. You want him to screw it up.
yeah.
It's like if you're on a coaching staff and there's a new assistant who comes in and he's younger than everyone else and he's the new hot guy and everyone's looking at that guy and you're like, hey, I've been around longer. I have experience here. I want everyone to be talking about how good of a job I'm doing.
Imagine you work at a newspaper for a really long time. Most of your adult life, you started there as an intern, whatever, back in high school. You came from, I don't know, let's just say FAU. Then all of a sudden this hot shot from the University of Miami comes in, fresh out of college, and it just gets front page columns.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a lot like if you're a traveling stand-up comedian and your opening act's starting to get some hard laughs.
Yep.
Yeah, do I root against this guy? Maybe don't open for me anymore. This is a lot of questions that I'm asking myself professionally. Very introspective.
I would say team sports, generally, you got to root for each other.
Not here. No.
Yeah, publicly you do.
Overrated,
Backup
yeah.
quarterbacks generally root against a starting quarterback.
Greg nailed it
Right.
publicly.
Unless they're happy being a backup.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like Charlie
Right.
Whitehurst wants
Yes.
nothing but the best for a start.
I'm betting Florida State's backup quarterbacks like, I don't want to play. I don't want to do this.
You guys think that Waddle wants Tyreek Hill to fail?
Oh, yeah.
Well, but that's
Wants to
different
be
though. They
number
both
one.
start, and they're both getting a lot of balls thrown.
But wait a minute. Why is that different?
Well, Tua told us they all root for each other, whether you believe him or not.
But
Okay,
Odell
but-
might be rooting
but
against.
They haven't seen him in a week, huh? Then they walked that back real quick.
Isn't that the Will Fuller deal where you come down to Miami and just take the Dolphins' money and never play? Like, isn't that like what the? It's
Don't be
sort
mean to
of.
Will Fuller.
No, I think that. But it's just. I think
It's Will Fuller V. That's a
At
5.
least Will
Yeah.
Fuller practiced.
The 4th, I think.
I want to get to Behind the Pit, a new thing that we're featuring that explains to you who Pipo is.
This is
Behind the bit.
This is
Behind the bit. This is behind
the bit.
a segment where we're really wondering if this is going to be the bit that gets us fired.
How did the Pipo character come about?
Pipo was making fun of Miami Hurricanes fans straight to their face, and he became an icon to Miami Hurricanes fans. They loved it.
At the time, we were doing a local hour, and we were breaking down the Hurricanes in a manner that I thought was a little too serious and respectful, and then Pipo just showed up. I don't know.
People? Here's Pipo.
there are many people on this bandwagon who at the end of last season said to yourself, maybe even shared it openly, you said we got rocked. If we didn't have injuries and those bum-ass refs, we would have won our 7th national championship. You heard me, Filete, 7. Well, guess what, bro? Next year is here. The time is now. And all the descarados from UF, and all the stupid Seminoles, and all the haters, and even that rat Nevin Shapiro, all of them will be watching us. The time is now. And don't any of you overestimate this moment. This team ain't got on us, bro. When I walked into that stadium today, they patted me down and they found the extra beer I had in my cargo shorts.
Pipo is basically the combination of about 3 dozen Miami Hurricanes friends that I know personally. I even have a friend whose name is Filete, which is why he was kind of referenced in there. I had friends get kicked out of stadiums for smuggling beers into their cargo shorts.
In one of the videos, Pipo said that when you drink cafecito, in Spanish, I said some people shit themselves, which never would have aired in English. But because it was in Spanish, no one knew what was being said.
And when there's pressure, we drink cafecito. And for the weak, para la gente débil, when they drink cafecito, se cagan. No, bro, imagínate cagándote delante de 100,000 gente en a stadium on national TV. Qué pena. But for the strong, para los caballos, when we drink cafecito, nos enfocamos.
Did Manny Diaz ever get that turnover, Chief?
Manny Diaz got fired because Manny Diaz was not a good coach. Manny Diaz was what people thought they wanted at UM and then ended up being kind of a disaster as a coach. And I'm not saying that the Pipo interview with Manny Diaz would have foretold what was to come, but that interview went very poorly. Manny Diaz did not understand what Pipo was saying. There was general confusion.
Here's the thing about Manny Diaz. He actually doesn't really know all that much Spanish, and Pipo kind of exposed him. So I think Mario Cristobal is more of a Pipo guy, quite honestly, than Manny was. It was a very weird interaction between Manny Diaz and Pipo, and quite honestly, it was the start of my doubt that Manny Diaz wasn't the guy on how he handled Pipo. Pipo is a great way to vet your head coach.
Pipo, what do you got? What do you got for your new coach?
Get out of the way here, damn man. Que hola, city. What's up, bro? Hey, what's with this weird energy? Like a funeral, like a velorio in here today, bro. What's happening? It's a party.
It's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, bro. Congrats. I'm happy for you. Listen, as soon as the job became available, I knew there was one person for this job. Someone's going to be here through thick and thin. And there's a bunch of haters like Pablito saying you're a traitor for leaving the Templo. And you know what? Ignore them. I said, you know what? That tipo, he's an empresario. Cógelo suave, bro. That guy wants billete. So I was happy that you got that job at Temple, and I'm even happy that you're back.
Hey, that's great to hear. This has been the high point of my tenure so far. This makes it all worthwhile.
Manny, I'm sorry, but welcome to Miami.
It just got a little out of control. That clip that was played, the speech, the original speech with the music underneath, that was kind of like making fun of a Michael Irvin speech that he gave, made its way to Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin commented on it on Twitter. I was told that at tailgates in Texas, it was being played before the UM game. Calls were made to Paul Feinbaum and got through on Paul Feinbaum, and he was none the wiser that people was just kind of, trying to agitate him.
I mean, you got Virginia Tech.
Nah, by that time of the year, they're not going to be ranked.
Well, you know what? You know why people are not agreeing with you? Because of the way that Miami just choked the last part of the season. What, they lose 3 straight?
Yeah, but that was last year, Paul. Things are different now. Things are different. They were injured.
Why should we wipe that away?
Don't get me started on the refs.
What
The
have we
refs always have it against
since
US.
then? You Cane fans are all the same. You do not want to regard history as a factor in anything. Anyway, thanks for the call. Great to have you on. We're up against a break. 3 more hours to go. We're right here.
He cut you off.
Now, Cristobal was seemingly having a good time, and then Pipo was there banging pots and pans, drinking coffee, but made a comment about the offensive coordinator that Mario Cristobal brought with him, who was down here from Miami. And Pipo said something along the lines of, this guy is too small to be a offensive or defensive line coordinator. I don't know. Some innocent thing was said by Pipo.
And I'm not going to get into the coaching moves so far, but I'm a little bit worried about this mirror ball because I don't know if I could say it now, but he's like the last time that we had a coach that was like that was Manny Diaz. And then, I don't know about this other guy that you brought in for the weight training, but that guy, is he good or is he grande por gusto?
Are you kidding me? You got to settle down here, people. Tell us about the mustachioed strength coach.
Hey, well, this one's for people. Last time I checked, the Outland Trophy winner, that's the number 6 overall pick for the Detroit Lions, was groomed and coached by Alex Mirabal. So I'll leave it at that. Not to mention.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Mario Cristobal.
And then that led to former UM players getting very upset, doing an article with The Athletic about it, saying that they wanted to fight Pipo, saying they wanted to fight Dan. And then my understanding was that a group of former national champion Miami Hurricanes were discussing showing up at the Clevelander to confront Dan over Pipo, I believe, not understanding what Pipo was doing.
Why do you think Billy hates people so much?
I'm not sure why Billy hates Pipo so much. I know he has to take it up a couple of notches. I think he kills the assignment. It's honestly one of my favorite things. My wife has a Pipo hoodie. Like, we love Pipo. Pipo, even though he, again, makes fun of Miami Hurricanes fans, we don't care. We love it. He's an icon.
The best part about the Pipos of Miami and just the whole Pipo era of the show, I would say, is that is UM fans. That's who they are. And for the most part, they loved it because they knew that's who they were. But also, they didn't know it was them. Like, every UM fan said, oh my goodness, I know Pipo, that's my cousin. Or I know Pipo, that's my friend Jack. Or I know my friend Pipo is this is Pipo, that's Pipo. And it's like, no, it's you. You just don't realize that you are Pipo. Would Pipo ever return? Maybe.
A los caballos. When we drink cafecito, nos enfocamos.
everybody around here for a couple of years now has seen or heard or felt me falling apart in some ways. The show has endured that a couple of times in its history and lived to survive it. I cannot tell you right now how grateful I am for an audience that made something possible that we're about to buck up and get super strong as the whole media thing crumbles and shakes and tries to figure it out. Like College Gameday killed it this weekend, but they're in transition. And that's how it changes. Get shirtless, get a leprechaun out there that says he has to pee, and Saban's looking around and he's like, I've never seen anything like this. This is what college football feels like. I've never seen something so fun. And he's out there cursing and saying, while on live television, I like, this was funny because he says the word shit, Stugotz. Mm-hmm. And that's all that everyone was talking about. And do you realize how stupid and silly it is that the rest of that quote is normal now? The rest of that quote is, you guys keep talking about a $20 million roster. If you don't buy the right guys, you'll be shit out of luck. Everyone's focusing on the shit. Nobody cares that there's the winningest coach ever is saying, yeah, it costs $20 million, but you better get the right players. And it's like, what are we doing?
It's why I'm sitting here doing College Gameday now. I got to tell you, Saban is QB1 on that show. It is not McAfee. It is not Desmond Howard. It is not Reese Davis. I love all of them. But Saban is QB1. He is excellent. They need to use him more. They need to utilize him more. Let him speak more. Nick Saban is really good at this.
You say that. I say he's stiff and starched, and he will be excellent, but he needs to work with those parts, and those parts are a lot different. Saban ain't bringing you the young people. McAfee is.
And by the way, everyone who kicked Lee Corso off the set, the only guy who was perfect with his picks over the weekend on the College Gameday set was Lee Corso. He still has it, Dan. He does.
Wow. Thank you for bringing that up, Stugotz. Yep. There's nothing better as a fan than when you're watching a show like Gameday where they're giving pregame picks and everyone picks the same team. And then you say, all of the haters think that we're not going to win. But guess what? Throw it back in their face after the game because Notre Dame won. They all picked Texas A&M. Notre Dame's not going to win in a hostile environment. Their offensive line has 6 snaps of experience between the 5 of them. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Notre Dame won. Take your 107,000 fans and, I don't know, go somewhere
Kick
else.
rocks.
Kick rocks.
Oh, boy.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, stumbling.
Gave her a whole segment.
Yeah. I wanted to keep talking ball.
I will get back to ball. I wanted to talk ball too. I just didn't want to talk Notre Dame football that quickly.
Oh, no, it was impressive. Was Connor Wegman actually sick the entire game? I've never seen him. Is it Wegman or Wegman? Because Chris Fowler does not know how to pronounce it on the game.
Impossible. However Fowler pronounces it is how you pronounce your name. Mm-hmm. That's my rule in life. Mm-hmm.
He got punched in the stomach. That's why he threw
I don't think you heard what I said. I don't think you heard it.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, stumbling.
Is that 2 more minutes? Or the same
one thing's for sure.
4 total?
I'm not exactly sure who he is. But if you're Florida, you do whatever you can to get that Notre Dame defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk more about Napier, and we will over the course of the show today. And we will find out what Greg Cody wrote from Key West in his underwear.
You don't think Nick Saban is going to kind of get his way, like ease his way into this? Like, you don't think he's going to do the David Pollock and jump off of a high board in a Speedo into the pool at some point on this run?
He jumps into the lake. Stugotz loves on God Bless Football asking everybody questions about Saban taking him out on the lake. It's one of Stugotz's favorite questions.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, he takes the guys out on the lake. He tries to throw them off the little floaty. I mean, he should be concerned about those guys getting injured. It's going to happen sometime. Well, it won't happen anymore. He's not coaching.
I agree with what you said about Saban dominating that set.
Yeah.
Saban has out-retired Bill Belichick, and it isn't even close.
Well, hold on a second. We haven't seen the Manning cast
It just started.
Give him a chance.
They just started.
Give
It's
him
not
a
even.
moment.
Belichick hasn't even had a chance to shine yet.
Saban
Let's
is
hear him
ahead.
out. Yeah.
It's like you got a picture like a retirement foot race. between Saban and Belichick. And right now,
I like that.
Belichick is stuck in the starting gate, and Saban is sprinting.
Well, college football started, and pro football hasn't.
Damn right it has, and Saban's like sprinting over those hurdles.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because the NFL does not like college football having its own weekend. There are reports now that the NFL wants to start Labor Day weekend.
They want all the weekend.
Stay away. You can bully basketball. Stay away from the minor league. Did you see there's a clip of Bill Belichick's original content, his show Coach. Did you see who made its way onto the set doing this content creation with Bill Belichick? Matt Patricia.
Oh, wow.
He's going to bring all those. Wow. He's going to bring all of the coaching.
Well, he's going to bring the personality.
Did he have a pencil in his ear? Or?
I couldn't tell from what I saw.
Man.
Wait, he has a show called Coach?
I think that was one of the graphics that
Craig
I saw.
T. Nelson?
What else would you call it, though?
That's a great reference, Billy.
That'd be a great show. A reboot of Coach with
Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
You're absolutely
Then he's ahead
right.
of Saban. Yeah.
You're so right. It is wonderful that the knee-jerk reaction of Greg Cody is that Saban, it's not even close, has sprinted past Belichick, who hasn't spoken publicly yet in his roles as somebody who analyzes games, because there have been no games for Belichick to analyze.
And that's not Saban's fault.
Fun fact, Craig T. Nelson was offered the part that Ed O'Neill got in Modern Family, but asked for too much money.
Really?
Really?
I have read some interesting things about movie stars and actors. Brad Pitt, I didn't know this. This is crazy to me. The movie Seven, a masterpiece, a dark masterpiece. And keep an eye on everything happening in streaming, because it's hard to get dark made because people want applause, and everything in your streaming channels is a note off because everybody wants a happy ending and to avoid all the difficult stuff. Brad Pitt and George Clooney just got paid $35 million each for this Wolves movie that they're making on Apple TV, and they've been promoting it everywhere. Brad Pitt in Seven had a contract that stipulated, and spoiler alert here if you have not seen Seven. Spoiler alert, I'm warning you, spoiler alert.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Never know.
He had a contract clause that said, in writing, my wife's head is in the box at the end, and she dies and it stays there, and I kill Kevin Spacey. That's how that movie ends. And everyone tried to change it, and he just kept giving them the contract clause of, you're not going to make this a happy ending. They wanted to kill a dog or something. And he's like, no.
That's a happy ending?
Yes, a happy. Well, it's a happy.
Well,
it's
it's a dog,
happier.
yes.
It's
I
happier.
haven't seen it yet.
Not if it's your dog.
Now you have.
Keanu Reeves turned 60 over the weekend.
No need.
Got a whole new franchise because someone killed a dog.
I feel like audiences in general would rather see a woman die than a dog die.
Yeah, maybe right.
I'm building out this new Coach
Put that on the poll.
version.
No, I don't want to do that. I really, I should throw that to Elon Musk, should I?
I'm building out this new version of Coach that we're going to produce, Meadowlark Media exclusive with Belichick. I feel like Lou Holtz should play the Jerry Van Dyke character.
Yeah, he looks like him.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yes.
it's too bad Jerry Van Dyke passed away because he could have played Lou Holtz in a movie. But you know what? Now we have the opposite situation. Lou Holtz can play Jerry Van Dyke.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's great
And
casting,
that would do
Billy.
wonders for the echo chamber allegations.
Greg Cody, are you familiar, as we celebrate 20 years together, what your son, the executive producer and sitting on this show, is trying to tell you there? Are you,
Sure.
What was he saying to you?
Yeah, he was saying get closer to the mic.
Mm-hmm. Like
You
a
know.
professional. Like
And
the
I did.
Like the professional that you are.
And I did. I
Seamlessly.
followed directions. I got closer to the mic.
Yep.
Now my lips are almost on the mic. I'm probably talking too loud right now. Who knows?
Speaking of Lou Holtz, Notre Dame released a docuseries on Peacock called Here Come the Irish. Wow. Lou Holtz is in episode 1, as is yours truly. Check it out, episode 1 of Here Come the Irish on Peacock.
See ya.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for boring.
I don't want any more Notre Dame talk.
I want to talk about the
Could have been me,
O-line.
Max.
They've got
Talk about football. The O-line played great.
They've got their own damn
Mike
channel.
Denbrock knows how to bring in a tight end for protection. Connor Flanagan with the block of the game. Notre Dame runs it up the gut. They set that run up the entire game, and boom, nailed it in the fourth quarter. Game-winning drive.
Notre Dame really ahead of the times, right? With their own channel. They never joined a conference. They saw this coming.
I mean, they got their own network. They don't need us. They don't need us.
It's Wigman.
That guy's bad.
Well, how does Fowler say?
I love that guy. I thought that guy was
Dude,
an NFL player.
He was so bad on Saturday.
I think he was
It's
sick.
week one.
I don't know what's going on.
It's week one. It's week one. Notre Dame has one of the best secondaries in college football this year. He didn't look comfortable. It was his first game back from a pretty significant injury.
He lost some pretty good receivers.
He may
too.
not be good, and they may not have a lot of talent in this.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, spreading propaganda.
I like him.
But it's week one.
I'm not going to write him off.
We will
However
see.
you pronounce his last
We
name.
can decide in 3 weeks if he sucks. DJU, on the other hand, I think we've seen a lot from him already in his career, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if that was Florida State felt like that was their only option. I know everyone said during camp he was throwing the ball really accurately and he looked really good, but all of a sudden now 2 games, he's just looked so inaccurate.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, spreading propaganda.
The Notre
The
Dame
O-line
stuff.
also
The Notre Dame stuff. Needs
Say
to
a lot of
stop.
things during camp.
Rob Snyder, 2 episode stint and coach. Who
Wow.
knew? Yeah.
Really?
Maybe they can bring him back. He can play
Cameo?
old Leonard Krailman again.
That would do wonders for our echo chamber allegations.
Yeah.
The real question is, what school will DJ be starting for next year? Where do you guys think he goes next?
Put it on the
It's a good
poll
question.
at Le Batard Show. Is the real question, what school will DJ be starting for next year? I want to circle back, forgive me, because I had a delighted smile on my face at just seeing people. I am, somebody you've noticed over the years who lets people be themselves, people, not people. And therefore, I've wanted people to appear for years now, Stugotz, but he's disappeared because he has not been summoned by the muse. He does not feel like working. What's my motivation? And so I want to know, Billy, where is Pipo? Why the people have been clamoring. The moment UM won, this is weird, Billy. It's not something I've seen before. When UM wins, people generally do not like that. Just generally, my entire lifetime, UM winning, people don't like that except the people from Miami.
I think that those are the people you heard from. I think those were the people that were excited UM won.
They wanted people. They're
Yeah.
requesting people. I want to give them something. I like to please our customers, and you refuse.
I refuse.
You
What does
refuse.
that have to do with me?
You refuse to bring us people. Where is people?
I haven't heard from him in a while.
What are you trying to give the audience?
Yeah.
People.
You just want to give them people.
Yes, more people than behind the bit.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to get people's reaction to Mario Cristobal doing that gator chop on the sideline after the game, because that was incendiary. It was glorious.
I think Pipo was still reeling from the loss of Mark Richt.
Yeah, that was from what I remember, that hit him pretty hard, and then there was a whole Manny Diaz fiasco, and then there was all those former Hurricanes trying to find him and hunt him down. I believe they said punch him in the effing face or something along those lines. Yeah,
We will get to the UM-UF game, I promise you, because we've talked more Notre Dame now than we have UM. And this is the infection that Jessica brings to the show, and it is Irish, and they have their own network.
I mean, it was one of the best games of the week. I think USC-LSU was really good. I think Notre Dame A&M was really good. And I think Florida State Boston College was entertaining for all the wrong reasons. But 3 of my favorite games from the weekend.
Well, LSU was entertaining because Brian Kelly's upset. He smacks the table. It's the most memorable thing from that game that he is upset because his team choked it away.
There was one other game. There was one other one that, was received with some fanfare. No,
It was over in the first quarter, Mike. I mean, here's the thing about Miami. If Cam Ward wasn't on Miami and Miami had, say, Tyler Van Dyke had a really good game, I think there would be an excuse to be like, all right, Florida stinks. We can't read too much into this. But I think Miami legitimately with Cam Ward is good, and I'm not even going to bullshit you. There's nothing that I can say right now as a Miami hater because your schedule's not that hard, especially if Florida State continues to play how they played this past 2 weekends. And your quarterback's really good.
Yeah.
What'd you pay him? How'd you get him out of the NFL draft?
He had a
You
fifth
personally.
round-
How much?
I don't want to reveal that. He had a 5th round grade, but it was vacillating between 5th and undrafted.
But money came into play, obviously. You guys showed him a bunch of money, and he's like, you know what? Maybe the NFL's not for me next year.
He was very clearly seeking a lucrative NIL package wherever he was going. I think, look, I understand why everyone's hyperbolic around Cam Ward. Some of those throws were really impressive. I also think that he made his life a little bit harder on himself than he has to, and that's going to be the give and take with him. I think what became evident a week in is if you look at last year's team, the fact that they lost all these one-score games, I think last year's team was actually a lot closer than people realized because the quarterback was so bad. And now that you have a 1-week sample of Tyler Van Dyke struggling a little bit in Wisconsin, and you see just what Cam Ward can do with this offensive line. I think maybe we should revisit some of our takes from last year and realize how bad Tyler Van Dyke was and how much he was holding everything back.
You want everyone to apologize for the criticism of last year's team?
No, I don't want anybody to apologize. I just want people to realize that maybe last year their reactions to stuff was a little outsized because the quarterback was pretty terrible.
Let's focus on this year.
I also am curious to see how Van Dyke does at Wisconsin. I'm keeping my eye on that.
I got a lot of complaints. I got a lot of complaints from Wisconsin people that were already.
They're also in like a weird offensive transition right now with Luke Fickell. Anyways, I digress. It was a good weekend for Miami, and if we want to revisit takes, my take last week, Miami's hardest opponent this whole season, Mario Cristobal.
We don't want to revisit takes and who got what right, but I do like that take because I don't like anything that's happening here. Mike wants us to go back and revisit that everything that happened last year that was a failure because if they had gotten Cam Ward to play quarterback, it would have been better. Yes, I'm guessing Cam Ward plays for just about any team in the sport, and he's going to make them a little bit better. What I saw on Saturday, whether Florida is bad or not, seeing a quarterback go into an environment 90,000 people. The Swamp prides itself on certain things, feels like they deserve championships just as much as Miami does. They come from Spurrier. They've won more recently bigger than Miami has. And that game, Mike was telling you, was for the business. Napier's going to get swallowed this season. He is not going to last there. You got Dan Mullen tweeting out, hey, the last coach that was there, he's retweeting, last coach that was there made 3 straight bowl games New Year's Day, and he got fired in his 4th year. Napier is under it right now. And you go into that environment. It's Javon Kearse clomping around doing the gator chop, trying to get – Tebow runs on the field. We're back. We're going to get back. No, you're not. Cam Ward's going to spin to his left and look like a quarterback who's played in front of 90,000 people for the last 10 years because he's not scared at all. He's going to drop back. He's going to go 20 yards back. It's going to look to you, for everyone, like, oh, my God, that's confident back there. He is not bothered by anything Florida is going to do to him in a way that was obvious and overt and isn't normal, and it's the best quarterback Miami has had this century.
This has worked out really well from Miami from the standpoint of they go into Gainesville, they blow out the Gators. Cam Ward looks fantastic, plus Florida State is 0-2. When you're talking about recruiting, the beginning of this season has worked out perfectly for you.
But what Jess is saying is absolutely so. That schedule's easy.
They don't have a ranked opponent the rest of the way, at least not now.
They avoid everything that they have to avoid to get right back into things. And I would say right now, and I know it's going to feel like prisoner of the moment to people, I would say right now that this entire season for Miami, because Ruben Bain went down, and that is a bad injury for them. He is super important for them no matter how much depth they have. I will say this entire season is about keep Cam Ward healthy. If he does not get hurt, the schedule is easy enough and the team is good enough to be one of the 12 best teams because that quarterback play, what I saw on Saturday, every Saturday, will be good enough to be among the 12 best teams in the country because it's not even that he wasn't bothered. You can tell me all you want about Florida's not very good. That's fine. That circumstance was difficult for a quarterback making his first start with a lot of pressure. Tyler Van Dyke's mental strength was tested at all time, and he's rolling backwards and going from his right to his left, throwing the ball wherever he wants to with maximum confidence.
It's that's always been his style. It's why he averages close to a fumble a game because he has the ball in that one hand and he's looking downfield and he's not usually doing it behind a good line. I think you'll notice even the one interception, square up. You don't have to. He loves to throw from all these angles. Why, like on my initial scout, I thought he was a baseball player because of how he flips it sometimes. That's really posh in the NFL these days because Patrick Mahomes does it. It's a little unnecessary sometimes and it might cause him trouble. But everything that you saw from Cam Ward was, to me, directly related to the offensive line. And you see the directions that the offensive line for Florida State is going down, and Florida's going down. We're in year 3 of Mario Cristobal, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Miami's arrow is pointing up and those arrows are pointing down.
Is a playoff appearance like a win? Like you just get in or you have to win a playoff game?
I'm not moving the goalpost. This season was about, showing big-time progress and get into Charlotte and hopefully get into a playoff spot.
But you also lose Cam Ward after this year, presumably, right?
Yeah,
so you're going to have to start again with another quarterback next year.
Yeah, but Billy, part of the reason why I said this was the biggest game in program history is you need a proof of concept, and you need to show the people that are investing that this is worthwhile. Now, you saw what Lincoln Riley was able to do in Oklahoma, and then when he moved, Caleb Williams moved with him. I am the place that if you want to go as a transfer, you can get immediate results. If Cam Ward improves his draft stock, the next high-profile name that is in the transfer portal is going to look at what they're doing in Miami and consider them way more strongly than they used to.
Well, you thought you were kind of feeling young today, but it turns out you're so old.
When the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz first aired, Greg Cody was still technically in his 40s. Yes, that's younger than you are right now, Dano. Here's something else to remind you of just how old you are.
Look how thrilled Greg Cody is, radiant to see and hear himself talked about. He was so in his glory with the Golden Oldies. I was legitimately thrilled. I'm in New York, Stugotz, dealing with finance shit I do not want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I get video, and it might have been the only happy part of my week last week. Greg Cody and our crew correctly executed Greg Cody performing with the Golden Oldies. But what they actually correctly executed was giving for his 70th birthday, my friend, the greatest gift that you can ever give him, which is make him the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best gift our show can possibly give Greg Cody. Just surround him and make sure that he gets all the attention and doesn't have to share it with anybody.
I don't, why would you say that? Just because I happen to be having a birthday party on a yacht celebrating myself? What do you mean? I mean, I don't like attention. Come on. But truthfully, the whole Golden Oldies experience was great.
You got it.
And I hated doing it. Christopher talked me into it. He begged me to do it. So it all worked out.
Right.
That is a great tease. You showed the proper enthusiasm here on our 20th anniversary. It all worked out as really kind of a celebration. I'll take it after 20 years. It all worked out as something that it's not going to say on my tombstone or the company's tombstone or the show's tombstone. Before I get to the Golden Oldies video, I will just tell the audience again to stick around at 11:20 Eastern. We are going to do something. We should just stay on YouTube as we do it to make part of the announcement. Just go straight through.
Little giveaway, or
we can do some giveaway, but I want to share something with the audience that.
Don't complicate this more than it already is.
I want it to be complicated. I want us to do complicated things well. We can't do the easy ones well, so I'd like to get good at the complicated
part of the reason
ones.
is we complicate it live on the fly after everything's been worked out. Hey, let's add this other layer.
All right, you used to be the EP. You're not anymore. Let me handle.
I agree with Mike.
We don't have a phone bank.
786-456-4337.
We've been asking for one forever.
Stugotz just says things. He doesn't know what we are
Caller
actually
79.
technically
I think caller
capable
20
of.
for the 20th year.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
You know, one time, if we're going to reminisce over the 20 years, which I don't think is what we're doing right now, but if we're going to reminisce, one time when I was interning very early on, you decided it would be a good idea to give away the prize to caller 790. Yeah. And I was a man of integrity. Yeah. I didn't like the whole game that I'm not going to throw people under the bus, but there were some other interns that would pick up the phone one time and say, "You're caller 7, you win the prize." And I was like, well, that was caller 1, not 7. They did not win the prize.
You did 790. I one time had to do caller 40 for Udonis Haslam.
Yeah.
And I, number 22, I was just like, all right, you
See,
win.
that's what I'm saying. But, now you're
22.
liable. Now if the person that remembers that contest called in and you said, sorry,
I think
you were
that's
too
a crime.
late. I think so, too.
I'm pretty sure that you've just admitted to a crime.
Felony, if anything.
Anyway, as I was saying, it's a miracle that we have arrived at 20 years with this assortment of bozo behavior.
So which caller are we doing?
Stugotz doesn't know anything about our business, nothing. He doesn't know where anything is. He doesn't know anything. I've got a meeting with Stugotz today to try and teach him something about our business. He doesn't know anything about it.
What time?
I think it's 3 p.m. Eastern.
Wow. A bit late.
Overtime.
I'll be there, I think.
We successfully executed a Golden Oldie tribute to Greg Cody as he approaches his 70th birthday.
You seem surprised by that.
I mean,
that I'm turning 70, or
I'm surprised that we executed something correctly instead of I executed someone correctly.
This could be like the Spanish speed walker that's waving to the crowd before we've actually crossed the finish line, because it hasn't aired yet. There's always the chance all of a sudden audio doesn't work, or
you know what? You're
all
right
of a sudden
about
it's
that.
dubbed in Japanese for some reason, and we're super confused.
Billy is so right. All we know is what happened during the show. We have no idea what happened after we turned these mics off. I mean,
guys, can you dub this in Japanese real quick before we play it? Here it is. Here's Greg Cody successfully executing being the center of attention.
We sent Greg Cody to the Golden Oldies tryouts for the Miami Heat elderly people dance team.
I was told that between 100 and 150 people over the age of 60 years old will be auditioning for the Golden Oldies today. How are you feeling about everything that's going on today?
I'm as excited as I can possibly be. I really am. It's just a thrill. I feel young.
You would think that it was because of the Dan Le Batard Show and all the cameras that Greg was famous, but actually I've heard 3 or 4 different people in here say, hey, is that Greg Cody of the Hee Haw 3?
I'm in favor of special treatment.
I mean, I think Greg is ready and excited. He's a performer at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. Not at the beginning, but just at the end of the day, I'm a performer.
Well, luckily there, it is the end of the day.
noon,
I mean,
dinner will be served in the next 30 minutes.
They call me Greg Cody. I'm the lead singer of the Hee Haw 3, and I am thrilled to be here.
Woo! Yeah, Greg. So no matter whether they were on the team last year, they're on the team this year, everybody has to audition again. Everybody needs to get prepared.
These jailhouse rules, like, does Greg have to go in and punch someone right away to kind of establish his dominance in this situation?
I don't think so, although he looks ready to be the
Greg,
prize
do it.
fighter
Go punch
in this
someone.
situation.
I dare you. Greg just kind of strolls in. He gets a private lesson with the coach. He has a camera crew. Like, Greg's a big city slicker that's coming into this small town, and he's going to take someone's spot, which I'm not a fan of.
Greg is stretching with the dancing coach.
I feel like I've had my exercise already. I'm winded.
You know, this might be Greg's crowd, guys. I think these are the type of people that are liking what they see, if you know what I mean.
Baby! You would agree the entire team returning, last year's entire team returning, is a major upset, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to have new blood.
Because they're old.
Yeah.
Well, no, because they
you
made it
have
back,
to.
right? All of them. Right?
It is.
I don't want to say it's an old dance troupe, but when the Golden Oldies are performing, there's a hearse outside the arena.
That's why I try to send you guys away.
Christ, man.
That's why I try to send them away.
Greg is getting warmed up, number 251 right here. And I mean, look at him. With all of these folks who are getting ready, it's a pretty intense moment as everybody gets warmed up. Everyone is touching their toes. Everybody looks comfortable. And then there's Greg. And if you go back to Greg, he can barely touch his knee. His leg is shaking. When is the last time that you stretched like this?
Never. This is not what I do. I survived the warm-ups, and that was the toughest part for me.
Greg and his group are getting ready for the audition. This is a big moment in Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz history. Look at Greg go. Look at Greg, his signature move. The hands on the knees, stepping side to side.
I gave it my all. You know, I did my signature moves.
Can he break anything else out? Oh, there it is. Is he going to throw out his back? No, he looks great. Look how spry.
Greg's doing the secret check his pulse move right
Yes,
now.
he is.
I'm younger than some of these people, but I'm not as fit as most of them. I was surprised by the level of fitness, frankly.
Wow, a spectacular effort from Greg Cody. Oh no, are they cutting him immediately? Oh my God, they're cutting Greg Cody.
I know they said no cuts for round 1, but I'm sorry, I wasn't cutting it.
Why?
Greg's cut. It's over. His dream is dead.
I'm the first one cut. This is ridiculous.
Oh, no. I thought this had a happy ending. I thought, no. What? That's horribly sad. He was the first one cut. He didn't make the team. I thought this ended with him making the team.
And now he wants to be on the team now that he got cut. He's a loser.
That's not nice.
He's doing the Richard Nixon.
He did do the Richard Nixon. That was absolutely the shirtless Richard Nixon. How are we going to counter you, McAfee, on College Game Day with the shirtless Richard Nixon?
Yeah.
That made me sad.
Yeah.
That was so mean that they cut him after the first round.
That was sad. What happened? I thought, put your headset on here.
I thought you were a lock to make the team.
I know.
How does
It's terrible.
The first cut, like David Sampson on Survivor?
He was more winded than anyone.
All I got was a T-shirt out of it. It's sad.
Yeah.
How did you feel the next morning?
I was a little sore. Yeah, no, I really was. Yeah, I'm still feeling it. Yeah,
Which move do you think
the
did
thighs, the back of your, what do you call the back of your lower leg? The
Hamstring.
calf, thigh? What is that?
Calf, I think.
Yeah, my calves were mooing.
What do you call the back of your lower leg?
Hammies.
Calf, I guess. Yeah.
He's winded again from putting his shirt on.
Well, it's ridiculous. You know, it's a souvenir I got
Right.
from the Golden Oldies, so we're happy about that.
How many people ended up making it, Greg? Do you know? Because, Dan, I don't know if you know this. So last year the team had, I believe they said 21 members, and then they said that this year that they were looking to have it be 18 to 20 members. So even if everyone made it from last year's team, it looked like they were going to have to literally break the heart of one of the older members of this team.
Me. Yeah.
Well, no, you weren't on the team last year.
Are you an alternate or like what happens?
I'm on the practice squad.
You are?
You're not on anything. You were the first cut.
If several golden oldies die of natural causes,
Which is it's possible.
It is possible. Not that you're rooting for it, of course.
Probable.
Right?
No, they were all back this year, too.
Yeah, they all made it back.
Will you go back next year, Greg?
Ooh.
You never know. You never know. It could be. Because now I know what to expect.
That's true.
Like the calisthenics, the warm-up, I didn't expect.
The stretching before you do activity?
I didn't expect any of that.
You know, I like that with the dermatologist. You know, the dermatologist tells you to take off all your clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so there's times, I keep my undies on, but then they pull down the back and they look at my butt for some reason. And then they ask me, is there anything going on in the front? I'm like, I say no.
There's skin on your butt. I mean.
No, I know, but like, I'm like that. I'll go to the dermatologist and I'm like, I was in great shape. I'm going to work out just to go to the dermatologist next year. Never do, but... Kind of the same thing as the Golden Oldies, I think, right?
I'm definitely going to warm up more for next year's tryout.
Wow.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, rambling.
Jess?
That's
Sorry.
you, Billy. Get out.
Me?
That's
2
you.
minutes.
Get on out.
We're going to the doctor.
I am very excited about
skin health.
I'm very excited about what it is we're about to do. Okay, this is a giant day for us. Giant. It's our 20-year anniversary. In an hour, we've got a monster announcement that represents success for our show and company.
And we have a meeting today, I'm told.
And a meeting to teach Stugotz the business because he knows nothing except more. All he does is quack more. I want more. And that's what he understands about the business.
Yeah.
But Dianna Russini is here. She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic. She's got a brand new podcast. It's very popular with Chase Daniel called Scoop City. She bet on herself, and she's winning. She's going to be joining us Tuesday mornings throughout the NFL season. She's going to be on God Bless Football. You've got something coming up with God Bless Football. You're going to be going on the road to celebrate the football season this week, right?
Yeah, me, Billy, the Golics will be out there. We're excited for it. Trey Wingo is going to join us as well. We'll be out there at Kansas City. Bengals and Chiefs. NFL kicks off. We'll be in the parking lot before the show doing a pregame show. So we're really excited about it. Looking forward to it.
Who's at the Chiefs?
Bengals.
Nope.
I got Ravens. Excuse me. Yeah.
All right, that's the.
And no one told me, by the way. No one told me. I was thinking. I got to be honest with you.
Wait a minute. You want credit for getting it wrong, and then no one whispering what the right game is that you were going to. You want credit for that?
I got to be honest. I was thinking about teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that are going to make it this year, and teams that made the playoffs last year didn't make the playoffs.
Dianna Russini is going to have.
And the Bengals are one of those teams.
Stugotz needs credibility on God Bless Football.
They didn't make it. They're going to make it.
And Dianna Russini is going to bring him that credibility because he doesn't have any himself, and he's trying to get a giant thing off the ground. It's a spaceship. It's fun. It's flying to Kansas City this weekend to not play the Broncos or the Bengals.
Yeah.
I should have let this thing go on for several days.
You should
and have him go to Kansas City thinking that it was Bengals Chiefs.
I would have figured it out eventually. I mean,
third quarter. So Dianna Russini is with us, and she's a gangster at all of this. I love everything that she makes as a content creator, and I am telling you to go see her podcast with Chase Daniel. It's called Scoop City because I love her story and her information is extraordinary. And she likes talking to the Steelers offensive coordinator for a long time in a way I never would. I would not enjoy any of that, but she makes it good and entertaining. So Dianna, thank you on our 20th anniversary for celebrating this with us because we are thrilled to have you as part of our team this year.
Guys, thank you so much. Before this turns into the true clown show circus that it usually becomes when I appear on the show, I mean this. Congratulations to doing anything for just 6 months consistently at a high level in this space, in this world right now is a good thing. And to be able to do this for 20 years and to stay intact and have the relationship you guys do and to continue to be so entertaining, this is such a joy and really an honor to be on the show on a day that you're celebrating 20 damn years together. So congrats to you two for keeping this thing going.
And it's going to get bigger here in an hour when we tell you what's going on. But Stugotz, Dianna, can you tell Stugotz as we head into God Bless Football, before we get to this, hold on, I'm gonna get to the Jets in a second, but just so you know what God Bless Football is, okay? Because it's largely an atrocity, but it's an entertaining one. Here is Stugotz talking to Mike Elko and really mortifying me with question. This is before Mike Elko plays Notre Dame.
My friend.
And I just can't believe what Stugotz did to Elko. And visually, the funniest thing about this was not the question. It's the pan on the camera to Elko right after he's asked the question. Watch this.
You know, you might win the game, but you're not going to win best looking coach. Okay. Like, you know that, right?
What?
What are you talking about?
What is that question?
The guy across the sideline from you.
Where
The
are we
guy
going
across
with
the
that?
sideline, Mike.
I thought that competition was still wide open.
I happen to find Coach Elko to be very attractive.
No, very attractive man. I do too, but Marcus Freeman is the best looking person I've ever seen, period.
All right, now this is getting really uncomfortable.
Don't worry, Coach. Coach Freeman can blow an easy game. We've seen that over the years.
Oh, gee.
Thanks, Billy. Diana's reaction is perfect. That was also my reaction, Diana. Why did they do this to Mike Elko?
It's uncomfortable. It's rude. It's superficial. And Coach looked actually stunned that Stu found him to be ugly. Like it was he had this moment. You could see he was like, wait. Am I not attractive? Like my wife thinks I'm attractive. Women have shown me signs in the past that I'm attractive, but Stu just highlighted that. Yeah, you're not that good looking. So I feel like you got in his head there and you messed with his confidence for 100%.
I was making a larger point that anyone who stands anywhere near Marcus Freeman is no longer good looking. That's all.
Oh, I get what you were doing.
No, he was saying he was ugly. You said he was ugly
in comparison to Marcus Freeman. That's all I was saying. But who
you know
is
what
it?
I was thinking when I was watching it, Dan? My mind was thinking just about how I put together a lot of my questions for my interviews when I'm going to all these different camps this summer, and how I'm always just trying to be as conversational as possible, but ask questions that they want to talk about, things that they want to talk about. Like, could you imagine if I did that? Could you imagine if I said that?
Thank you, Diana. This
you're
lust
not,
for Marcus Freeman. It needs to end.
Like
everyone,
I
needs
probably
to
would have said Marcus Freeman is smoking hot
with the obsession with Marcus Freeman. It's weird. They're objectifying him on ABC, saying, "Oh, he looks like he hit the squat rack." Everyone needs to settle down with this Marcus Freeman. Just don't talk about him, all right, guys? It's getting a little weird.
This interview with Dianna Russini is presented by LinkedIn Jobs.
It's going to be all season. She's going to be all over God Bless Football. I'm very excited to have her be a part of our team.
So something that you guys missed is journalism was done in that interview, and you guys, are here and you're saying disaster, this, that, circus, this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. I took a page out of Diana's book and I said, you know what, I'm gonna test the coach here, and I don't know if anyone caught on to the subtlety of this, but the way this interview ended, we're gonna play the clip right now. I threw a little test out there to see if Coach was up for the challenge.
Thanks,
Coach. Gig 'em.
You look happy, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
You got it, man.
Guys didn't get the subtlety of that. He didn't gig him back.
You got to gig him back.
He didn't gig him back, and I had people from Texas A&M reach out to me as soon as that interview aired. They said, "We're losing this game." He didn't gig you back. This game is over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that before I laid the bet.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get a gig him back.
Unfortunate.
We will get to Lucy gigging them this weekend in a second. Did she do any gigging? Did Lucy did she do substantive gigging?
She did something because she went very viral.
Yeah.
We will get to Lucy in a little bit. But Diana, can you tell us? I believe Mike Ryan keeps liking to tell me, and he's not wrong, that it's been a long time since we've seen Aaron Rodgers be good. But the Jets are good without Aaron Rodgers. Belichick, who's been passed by Saban, according to Greg Cody, was telling us all about Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and how difficult they are to stop if they've actually got someone who's not Zach Wilson as their quarterback. What can you tell Stugotz about what you think his Jets are going to be this year if Aaron Rodgers is actually healthy?
I just love we're living in this world right now where you just entered that question with Bill Belichick is telling us, right? Telling us on one of the 19 media outlets that he's now part of. I can't keep track of all the things he's doing, but Matt Patricia standing behind the lectern, looking like a priest almost, asking Bill to break down tape of the New York Jets. I found that to be very entertaining and comical and almost like, what world are we living in that this is really happening? But it is, and we need to probably listen to everything Bill's saying, because when it comes to breaking this film down, he's right. And everything that he included in that film breakdown are the things that I've seen at practice and I know about this New York Jets team headed into the season. We say it's the simple thing to say about the Jets. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, they're going to win. And you say that because you look at the roster top to bottom. And even on the offensive line, they've gotten a little bit better. As long as Aaron can just go back to playing at the level we know he can play at, I have all the confidence in the world that the New York Jets can do it. All that other stuff that we talk about, and Dan, I had to do a show, and when I say I had to, because it wasn't really an ask, at WFAN with Stu a few weeks ago in studio. We talked a lot about the Jets, and there's just so many people, I think, in the Jets fan base that just they have PTSD from this. They don't really believe that they can be good. But I can tell you that from seeing them with my own eyes, they've got something special this year. And as long as they can really keep out the dysfunction that we saw a lot of last year, this could be the year for the Jets.
It was Aaron who caused that dysfunction, though, wasn't it? For the most part, I mean.
Well, I think there's a lot of people guilty of contributing to a team that looked the way they did last year and why it appeared to be so dysfunctional, right? So the Jets trade for Aaron Rodgers and they essentially hand him over the keys, which is great. If I'm Woody Johnson, I'm doing the same thing because I'm looking around the facility and I'm going, who here knows how to win? Who? Nope. Oh, yeah, that guy, right? The quarterback. So, Aaron, we want to listen. We want to hear what you think. Help us build this culture. We've got something here, but we need more. But by doing that, I think the power structure was then thrown off because now you have Aaron with all the say and weighing in on everything and wanting to be, the coach rather than just focusing on just the quarterback stuff. So even when he wasn't involved with the team, he was always involved with the team. So look, it starts there, but the dysfunction behind the scenes really just came down to the fact that leadership essentially gave up once Aaron went down. There wasn't a thought, okay, we can figure this out. Let's find a way to keep competing and winning. The hope was gone soon as Aaron went down because they built the whole season based around the success of Rodgers taking this team to the Super Bowl. So a few plays in on Monday Night Football against the Bills, it all swirls the drain and goes down. And now I think they've learned a lot. Like, that's the one thing I will say from my interactions with people in the Jets organization. There definitely seems to be a shift in the tone of, yeah, that was a mess. We got to shut down these leaks. Robert Saleh has said it. Like, he's come out as much crap as I've gotten for my piece on the Jets dysfunction, which, it always, fans don't really want to hear how bad their teams are. I've discovered that, guys, in this process. But Saleh came out recently and just said it. It was not good. And they've really put a lot of effort into shutting him down a lot. Have you noticed? I don't hear a lot of Robert Saleh. This time last year, he was talking Super Bowl. We don't hear that right now, right? So from a PR standpoint, I think they're doing a really good job. And really, obviously, it comes down to what they're doing on the field. And all that is lining up really well right now.
So they learned a lot. What did you learn about taking your kids to school today, huh?
That my husband is a lunatic and really hard on me. I dressed Mikey up and Joey, obviously both going to school this morning, out the door 6:45. And I'm taking pictures and getting them ready to go. My husband's like, Mikey's shoes are on, they're on the wrong feet. They're not even on the right foot.
Well, but
by the way, I'm texting with somebody with a source because I was working on the Trent Williams contract story, which broke this morning. So I've got the phone, and it's quiet in my neighborhood. I live on a lovely street, and people don't wake up that as early as we do. And the boys are screaming, shoes are on the wrong feet, and I really don't care because I want to break the news. So things aren't really good right now.
Dianna, do me a favor, please. I'd like the team to work with you so that every week you're coming to us with your best story from the week on how you cannot be a present mother because the NFL will not stop on your phone. Like,
Dan, you know what's fun? Take your kids for family photos. Okay, so Mikey's 3, Joey's 1. Go take a cute little photo on a Sunday morning when it's 90 degrees and it's the week before opening week and you have 3 major superstars holding in, holding out, waiting for contracts while, you have to do columns and all this other stuff, podcasts, all this other responsibility that I have. It doesn't work. It does not work. Wait till you see these photos. I'm going to bring the photos to the next show so you can see what my family truly looks like. Because I'll tell you, I'm not posting or sharing with my family this year in the holiday card the picture that probably appears to be us put together, I'm going to show the real us. Wait till you see this thing.
Put it on the poll, please, as part of this segment. I want this segment to be, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is the NFL bad for motherhood? Because your kids are going to be scarred throughout their childhood with the wrong shoes because you've got to write down something Matt Patricia said.
Correct. And the problem with all of this is I'm probably always just going to keep picking football. So what's going to happen to Mikey and Joey?
Yes, this is going to be problematic because I don't think, I really don't think that people understand that it would not be possible for Adam Schefter and Woj or Shams to get a 1 and a 3-year-old off to school correctly in the morning. None of them can do it. There's no way. Like, they don't have the capacity. What she's doing is not physically possible. Those kids are doomed and scarred for life. Mommy's not present. Mommy loves the Ravens' backup quarterback more than she loves me.
As long as I get that tweet out, that's all that matters. Safety second. Story first.
Is Russell Wilson any good?
He's okay. I think it was a true competition there. It was. I know everyone's like, no, it wasn't. They planned on the veteran the whole time. No, I was down on the ground. I was talking to people. There was a moment there where Justin Fields was making a true case that he could do it. But when the powers that be, Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, the ones making the final decision on what was best for this team, in their mind, they believe that Russell Wilson is the best option to open up this season. Do I think this is going to last? I don't think the leash is that long. But the fact that they named him captain, the only offensive player named captain, I think when you see it, you go, oh, that's interesting. I actually don't think it's that curious. They don't have anyone else on offense. Who else are they going to name? And I also think it's a mental thing, right? This gives Russ some confidence. He got his butt kicked by Sean Payton of the Denver Broncos in that exit in terms of just the beatdown that he had to handle. And look, some of it, he was part of it, but I think the Steelers are looking at both their quarterbacks as we have to figure out how to get the best out of them while also trying to rebuild their confidence, because both of them were a little shaky here starting camp, coming off the experiences that they both did, obviously Russell in Denver and Justin Fields in Chicago.
Let me understand something, please. She's been with the Packers, the Jets, the Browns, the Vikings, the Steelers, and her last stop was with the Broncos. You mentioned Russell Wilson somehow getting his confidence shattered by Sean Payton. The shipping container thinks what about Bo Nix? Because what Sean Payton is doing. I
like him as a Heisman dark horse this year.
What Sean Payton just told everybody is all of that was Russell Wilson's fault. I need a new start here. This isn't my fault. I'm going to now start with a new guy, Bo Nix.
Russell Wilson wasn't his guy. Bo Nix is his guy. Big difference.
So, Dianna, your thoughts there? Quarterback whisperer Sean Payton, who had the great benefit of working with Drew Brees to become that quarterback whisperer. Bo Nix isn't young, but he doesn't have any experience at the pro level, and I'm not used to seeing many people play that position without a lot of experience at the pro level fast.
Correct, but he has the most starting experience of any of these rookies coming out. And just hearing about the things that I know Sean is maniacal about when it comes to playing the quarterback position, and knowing that this kid is checking off these psychotic boxes at this point is why I have confidence in this marriage and it working. Stu, you're right. Was Russell Wilson his guy? No. But the Penners ownership brought Sean Payton in to fix it, and he didn't. They could have brought in anyone to do what he just did, which was essentially cut Russell Wilson and cost them $80 million, right? So I think there's pressure on Sean here to make this work with Bo Nix. And he's all in on trying to make sure that this rookie quarterback is as prepared as he possibly can mentally, and understanding the things that he wants. Sean is a psycho about taking care of the football, not taking sacks. These are those things that he thinks, these are the parts of the game that he thought hurt them last year. They're young, they're hungry now. And I will say, from being around Sean's teams in the past in New Orleans, this Denver team right now feels closer to what I used to experience when I was in New Orleans, Sean's got his fingerprints all over this organization now. This example of the Denver Broncos that we're going to see, this is Sean Payton's Denver Broncos. We'll just see whether or not this all works out.
The name of the show is Scoop City, a show about the NFL. I am promising you that it is excellent. I am promising you that everything she does is excellent, and I'm thrilled that she's going to be with us all season.
Except
NFL,
getting your kids off to school.
Yeah, well, she gets them there. No, she gets them. Look, look.
I took the one to the wrong classroom. So I forgot how old he was. I was like, oh, yeah, the 3-room over here. My husband's like, he's 1. I'm like, oh, this way.
I'm excited about your partnership with Chase. He's a hell of a follow on social media. He's trying to make NFL Threads a thing. He's presently on FS1, but he's a really insightful dude. These backup quarterbacks, they know so much about the game. He's a hell of a media star that's up and coming.
He's so thirsty on Twitter. He is. I try to talk to him, and Dan, I don't know if you've ever had this experience with Stu where you're observing something and you're going, please stop. Please
all
stop.
the time, 20 years.
Every day.
Every minute of every day.
Mm-hmm.
For the name, just protect me somehow. Please, respect the show a little bit. Chase is all in on social. So, look, I think there's some envy I have there, full disclosure. I think I wish I had the time to put so much out there all the time. He's a content machine. Breakdowns and thoughts. He's weighing in on gymnastics. He's talking about milk. He's ranking farm animals. Like he's just all over the place because he is obsessive about being out there and being part of this landscape of having a voice. So there's beauty in that, especially for someone like me who's been doing it so long, and I feel like I've seen it all. And to have someone this energized and excited about every single clip we post and texting me in the middle of the night, hey, what clip do you think is going to be good? What's a great caption? What do people like to hear about? It's very entertaining, exhausting, but entertaining. But in regard to his knowledge, I mean, he's been on 7 different teams. I always remind myself, yes, he was a backup quarterback. But the value of Chase Daniel isn't about the throws he's made. It's about the rooms he's been in. And that's where we can really tap into good conversation, because as much information as I can collect, I don't know 90% of it. He knows how the Sean Payton quarterback room looks like. He knows what that playbook looks like, what a play call sounds like in your ear, because they're notorious for being obnoxiously long. So to be able to tap into that stuff has been really cool, and it's been a different experience for me from really anything I've ever done at ESPN.
Let's put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are you a bad mother if you send your child to the wrong class because you're talking to Trent Williams' agent? Thank you, Dianna. It's nice to see you again, and I'm thrilled that we're flying now. It's going to be all season, and it's going to be crazy, and we're going to bring a whole lot of big guns with us. Thank you, Dianna. Nice seeing you.
Thank you, guys. Congrats again on 20 years. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm the biggest fan of your show, so this is such an honor to be here. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You're going to hear and see her on God Bless Football, and she's going to be around all the time. What are you smiling about?
No, I was going to ask her about Chase Daniel's top farm animals. I mean, that's the question.
Good question.
It's a big controversy.
She named her podcast after you, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good point. Scoop City. Yeah. Possible lawsuit coming.
I want to talk a minute, Stugotz, or 4, about the U being back.
Huh.
I haven't done that one in 25 years. Everyone else has done it. I have not done that. I have not done
ranked
that.
number 2 a couple years ago.
I didn't do that though. I didn't do it.
Number 2.
Roll the tape. Oh, we don't just have that tape.
You made a bet with Golick about the Notre Dame game.
Find the tape. Yes, I made a bet, but I have not proclaimed this team back. But when they have a quarterback, Mike, I know you're worried that he's reckless. I know that the way they will lose is he has 4 or 5 turnovers in a game. I'm still someone who couldn't help but notice when the sport has changed so much that you're just buying the players back and forth, and they've all said, this one's worth a lot. This one is the one you change your team with. And then he comes out there and looks like that and gets everyone's attention and is immediately top of Heisman watch because it still matters to win in that place that way.
I didn't expect to come in here and kind of be a wet blanket, but I do think that you're overreacting a little bit. I'm not saying that he's not good. We brought him in because he's good. We brought him in because he's a talented thrower of the football. And when he signed on, I said this is as gifted a thrower of the football as we've had in 20 years. But I do think your reaction to it is outsized because you finally have competence at that position and you actually have someone that can help you evaluate the rest of the roster. You guys really jumped down my throat when I said, I think maybe last year, if we look at last year's team, they were actually probably a little further along. And then, Billy, after joining in the chorus of people jumping down my throat, looked at last year's results. I think that if you just got okay production out of the quarterback position, maybe last year's talked about in different ways.
But that's why the quarterback makes all the difference. I mean, Cam Ward was the prize of the portal and looked like it in the opener. I wrote a few weeks ago that Miami is too good to be ranked 19. They should have been much higher. They staked their claim to being the best team in the ACC this year. They're absolutely going to contend for the playoff. They're all but guaranteed to be 7-0 going up against Florida State, which seems beatable, and the game is here. This can be a magical season for Miami, and I don't say that every year because for 20 years I've been disappointed in the Hurricanes, but this looks like their year to me.
Should we be surprised by what we saw over the weekend? Because Cam Ward has gone to Oregon and played well. He's gone to Washington and played well. He's played in front of 100,000 fans before.
I'm not saying we should be surprised that he played well. I'm surprised that Miami was able to do that with any of their players. 41-17 on the road against a program that while down, it's still a hard place to play. And I'm guessing you might see only the occasional 41-17 loss on their schedule from the last few years at home. I haven't looked at their schedule, but it's not easy to beat them. At the very least, Stugotz, those are SEC athletes.
Oh, no, it was super impressive, but I'm saying it wasn't just Cam Ward. That D-line, impressive. Defensive backs, impressive. Wide receivers, they looked athletic.
Offensive line,
the
impressive.
Offensive line
last
looked
year,
a lot better.
Not a lot better. They were great last year, and their quarterback was a problem.
But I'm wondering the turnover concerns with Cam Ward because the last 2 seasons, he's only thrown 15 interceptions.
It's the
fumbles. It's the fumbles.
Okay.
bitches. It's me, Lucy. I'm back. I know everyone's been like, Lucy, where have you been? What's been up? Well, I'll tell you where I've been. I'll tell you what's been up. I joined a cult.
Giga baby! Giga gig!
That's my cult brother.
Welcome to the greatest college football tradition of all time. Led by the power, strength of the 12th man, our very own Midnight Yale Captain.
Would you guys say you are cultier than Notre Dame, or do you think Notre Dame is cultier than you guys?
In the most respectful way. We're not a cult. We're the cult.
Howdy Aggies! Those cowards from Notre Dame won't even join a conference. And when they come to Kyle Field, home of the 12th man, they're going to realize quickly what real football looks like, what SEC football looks like.
Why is Taylor there?
And they're going to realize their luck of the Irish is about to run out.
All right, so the better saying, gig 'em or go Irish. Everybody does go whatever.
Yeah.
Gig 'em is original. Gig 'em is different. Gig 'em is!
Do you think you're cultier than Notre Dame?
Of course.
We're cultier than every school that exists on this
Every
damn
school
planet.
in the SEC. I mean, they wear like a military uniform, even though half of them aren't in ROTC. What more can you say?
It's kind of weird to all wear matching outfits, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So whose idea was the T-shirts?
It was my idea. We're huge fans. We heard you and Jess say 2-ish months ago that y'all might come to this, and so we started planning right then.
What do you think is the least toughest place to play?
I mean, probably Miami. Mike, that's for you, Mike.
Do you guys know Jessica Smetana?
No.
All right. Dan, we're out in the wild of College Station, Texas, with this lovely tailgate that has a pool and is only giving beer to people who belly flop. I cannot because I'm a media member. Belly flop for a beer!
Belly flop for a beer!
Belly flop for a beer! This is presented by Powerade. It takes more. What do you guys think Jimbo Fisher has been up to lately? How's he spending his money?
Oh,
Mrs. Met.
Hunting and fishing.
Right, yeah,
That's
I
what
sit
he
in
does.
paradise.
Whatever
I'd be doing with a load of money, that's what.
He's not at home. He's in Cabo. He's on a beach. He's laid back.
Do you know Jessica Smetana?
Sounds familiar.
I don't know if I believe you.
It kind of sounds familiar.
Okay, I think that's good enough. Do you guys know Jessica Smetana?
What is that?
Bad Notre Dame fans. Giga Mags! Giga Mags! Giga Mags! How did you feel about Iowa scoring 40 points today?
I hate Iowa.
Get the out of here. 40 points!
I don't believe you. You better be glad that there's not gambling in Texas, because I would have bet the Iowa under.
I did bet the under, and it hit. What do you guys want to say to Texas and Oklahoma? Welcome to the conference this year. What's your message?
They can't play in the SEC. They're not ready for it.
That's North Dallas.
They better watch out.
Texas and Oklahoma. Hey, little bro, welcome to the SEC. I hope you're ready.
I don't go to A&M, but I'm a Notre Dame fan since the moment I was born and could talk from my grandfather. So go Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame.
You asked me how I feel about Notre Dame? F*** 'em.
How hard is it to watch Notre Dame football when Marcus Freeman is so handsome? You can't take your eyes off him.
He's a great looking guy.
If he's so pretty.
I don't know who that is.
Girl, that's the head coach of Notre Dame. What do you mean you don't know who he is? Whoop! Whoop! What time is it? Whoop! It's game time. Download the Game Time app and redeem code LUCY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Last thing, do you guys have anything you want to say to Dan Le Batard?
Who?
Nope? Okay.
Go PP. I don't know. I love you, Mean.
We love you.
I've seen you on the TV. I don't know, man. I don't know much else about you, but I've seen you on the TV.
Go Notre Dame!
So I've made a lot of fun of A&M, especially when they were ranked the toughest place to play. And something about me is I'm just a really great person and can admit when I'm wrong. And this place kicked ass. It is so cool. It is one of the best atmospheres in college football. And even though they lost, it's hard for me to be sad when I know that Jessica is happy. This was just a major win. Welcome back next week, El Asico.
I was about to crush you for wearing Texas A&M stuff, but the last part was actually nice, and now I'm not sure what to do. But I'm still mad at you. I'm still mad at you. Why? Like, this is just, honestly, it's bad for our show, for you to show up at Notre Dame's biggest road opener in decades, in Texas A&M stuff, with Taylor, by the way, who I gave a Notre Dame hat to, and he shows up and Jesus had a 12th man too. Well, you know what? Jesus' 12th man, he was Judas. And how did that work out?
Taylor wore a Notre Dame hat or Notre Dame shirt the day we left, so he did switch sides.
That's the most Taylor thing ever. He wears Texas A&M stuff to the game, and then at the airport on the way out, Notre Dame shirt.
Why was Taylor in the middle of Lucy's star-making vehicle? Why? How did he sneak in there? Lucy, you crushed it this weekend. I think you had your best weekend yet. That you kicked off. Thanks. You kicked off the college football season in a way that was aggressively wonderful.
Well, that wasn't Taylor. That was a yell leader.
We should be grateful for Taylor because he was on the sidelines recording video when Lucy went super viral.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? I'm sure it was very nice and everybody had great things to say to you.
It's been a weird couple days. I saw Ted Cruz on the sideline and I gagged and it went a little bit viral. And honestly, if that's what I'm known for is throwing up when I see Ted Cruz, I'm pretty proud of that reputation. It's been a weird week. I didn't realize how many stands he had, but honestly, it's been pretty cool.
He is a senator. I guess he would have some stands. Lucy, you were there. You were on the sideline. Obviously, the crowd noise was a big factor in this game, especially early on with some Notre Dame defenders jumping off sides a little bit. But then towards the end of the game, it seemed like they maybe got a handle on it. How loud was it from your perspective, and do you think it really played a factor in the first half?
It was super, super loud. I think Jess will be happy to know there were a ton of Notre Dame fans. In the section we were standing, there were so many just like Notre Dame fans trickled in. It was like the thing about Texas A&M is it's loud, but it's a very organized loud where the cheers, like everybody knows them. You have to like learn the midnight yell chants and orientation and stuff. So it's a very not just like, but like a very like everyone is yelling the same thing at the same time. It was really very, very culty, but very cool.
One of the things that's gone viral since the game is Marcus Freeman leading Notre Dame out of the tunnel before the game. And I'm curious if you were, I think you were standing around that area because that was the Notre Dame section right there. Did you get to witness this? And did you have any sort of thought at that point like, wow, this is a confident team going on the road in the SEC. They might have a shot at this.
We didn't I didn't get to see it. There were a ton of people sort of nearby. I did not feel like Notre Dame was going to win until I saw Ted Cruz. And then I saw Ted Cruz and I said, oh yeah, this is the Irish are taking this, no question.
I want to know what the percentage of people who just sprinkled a little Notre Dame money line after they saw Ted Cruz in the Texas A&M press box before the game. Because it felt like as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right.
It is a thing. It's like up there with the Drake curse. If Ted Cruz shows up rooting for a team, typically doesn't go well. So I think that there were actually people that actually seized on what you were saying.
Yeah, he's 2-14 when he like shows up and roots for a team.
Now, you didn't get to watch the Michigan game, I bet, because they were on the same time. But you're going to the proper game. El Asico is where Lucy should be going. But Texas-Michigan is happening this week. And Michigan did not look impressive. The final score was not reflective of how that game was going, especially from the quarterback position. I don't know if you got around to watching Michigan, because to me it looks like the national champions are going to have a difficult season. And that's a very difficult game at the Big House.
Yeah, I think Texas is going to win that game big. There have been like rumors coming out of, like camp that Michigan had a big quarterback problem. And I think that was like really clear going into the season. I understand that Michigan is the reigning national title, but there was no reason to put them in the top 10. They still have a very good defense. They have a good run game, but the quarterback problem is such an issue that you are going to see, I think, Michigan lose to Texas by a lot.
Iowa, Lucy, 1-0. I got 41.5, the under. A lot of people had it at like 39. Those people were losers, but I got it 41.5. So we're 1-0, Lucy.
Crazy. 40 points. First half, I was like, I don't want to live anymore. Second half, I was like, we're going to the playoff.
But they were playing against an FCS team, and at that
a good one,
Illinois
Jess. A
State,
great FCS.
They scored 40, Jess.
They're a great team.
That's
I
like
don't
4
want you to
games
take this
for
away
them.
from me.
Illinois State. This wasn't North Dakota State.
Historically
okay?
good, but they had 6 wins last year.
Historically,
They're really good. They're a really tough team. I would like to see anybody else put 40 on them.
I don't think they've made the playoff in like 6 years.
I think everyone's going to put 40 on them. Iowa will not
disagree.
Score. That's fine. You can disagree. You're an
disagree.
Iowa homer.
We have to track this now the entire year.
Anything else catch your eye from the weekend?
USC, LSU, USC, LSU.
Anybody else
maybe?
really impress you with their ability to handle a hostile atmosphere?
Georgia, perhaps?
Yeah, Penn State looked great. Wow, wasn't ready for that at all. Penn State, high-flying offense. I felt sick to my stomach.
Anybody else in all white?
LSU, USC.
No, Georgia wore red.
Second name starts with a W.
Your mic wasn't on first name Cam.
Oh.
So all that came out on the air is second name starts with
Cam
W.
Williams, Notre Dame Scout Team Player of the Week. Yeah, it was a great
Nothing
weekend
there.
for him.
Yeah.
Wide receiver from Chicago.
Not your fault, Greg.
Lucy, what else from the weekend stood out?
Well, I know what you want me to say, and I'll say it. Clemson is really bad. This is a rough year for Dabo. It was one of those things where, like, I used to play this game with my friends called Clemson or Iowa, where we would read offensive stats and you had to guess whether it was Clemson or Iowa. It was a really tough game, and I think that showed that. Georgia is light years better than anyone else, but Clemson's offense has absolutely no juice whatsoever, and we're reaching, like, this feels like the pivotal, like, if Dabo does not win this season, especially with the ACC being as bad as they are, we might see the end of Dabo at Clemson.
Wow, that's
Hot take.
Lucy,
Hot
Lucy,
take.
What are the odds that the G5 conference, highest ranked G5 conference winner is ranked higher than the ACC conference winner at the end of the season and gets the bye week?
Oh, I actually think that there's a good shot. I think something that's really interesting this week is App State plays at Clemson. App State.
Oh, wow.
That's like they're in a North Dakota State.
Are you putting the town on alert?
Put the town on alert.
Are you putting the
Upset alert?
Are you putting
the town on alert?
Are you putting the town
Put the town on alert?
Are you putting the town on alert?
I'm putting Boone and Clemson on alert.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
Whoa.
Look, I don't think that Clemson, App State could easily win that game. App State is a team that is, once again, where I see an athletic director has scheduled them, and I'm like, you should lose your job for that.
Lucy, thank you. I'm very much looking forward to the season. Please keep the expense account in a reasonable place. You wanted to buy boots and a cowboy hat. I said,
I just bought a hat.
Well, yeah, but
it was cheap.
You told her she could do it.
I did.
Yeah, you literally did.
You literally were like, go to lunch, spend whatever you want, get a steak. It's on me.
Wow.
I got us the most aggregated we've ever been this weekend, Dan.
That's a hell of a point. And
it
was
your
brought to
account.
Courtesy of Game Time,
They
who
kept
was a proud
saying my name, Billy.
Game Time was a proud sponsor of Off-Roading, and we appreciate all their support. And it's a nice little reminder to anybody watching right now. If you want to see one of Dabo Sweeney's last games, you can search the Game Time app, create a brand new account, and use the code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that is code DAN. Download Game Time today. Chris Cody, what time is it? Game time!
Lucy, quickly, how does this expense account work? Because I am going to Kansas City to watch them take on the Bengals this week, and so I need to know.
Okay, so I see something I want, and then I take it to the checkout, and then I buy it, and then I just expense it, and then I get the money back in like 2 weeks.
She has those rights. You do not. You have not earned them after 20 years.
Bengals.
She's earned it after 1 year. Thank you, Lucy. Good talking to you. I will tell all of you to stay right there. We've got a big announcement coming. We're just going to stay live here for a while until we get to that big announcement. So don't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. on top of our 20-year anniversary, which is legitimately stupefying to me, Greg. I just can't believe that in my career through print and broadcast, that the media would shake, that newspapers would crumble, that radio would fall apart, and we would last 2 decades and keep growing and be able to celebrate it with the most loyal fans, if not in the history of sports media, Jim Rome-like close to whatever is the most loyal fans in the history of sports media. And I'm not only thankful for it, obviously, I try to show you that every day, but I legitimately can't believe that coming from Miami, just writing about sports, that this would exist 20 years later to feed the people that I care about. And we've got an enormous announcement to make in a few minutes that we're going to get some help with. We'll onboard the people involved as part of celebrating our 20-year anniversary, but we're going to be doing it all year with content, an oral history, and a bunch of other things. Everything that's happened over the last 3.5 years is sort of building up to this very moment. You thought that was impressive our first 20 years. Wait till you see the next 5 when we start teaming up with people. And when I told you a long time ago.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say another 20.
Woo!
I was about to be like, whoa.
Bud, I don't got that in me.
You don't.
You guys don't. You guys don't have another 20 years in you.
I hope I do. Speak for yourselves.
Thank you, Jessica, because the last few years, have been hard because of a number of different reasons I won't bore you with now. However, one of the great things about what is about to happen in a few minutes here is that when we came out of ESPN 3.5 years ago, truly scared, and when I tell you the last 3.5 years have been terrifying to me because of the responsibility of having to make sure that we do this correctly for the people we care about, when we were making the decisions, we didn't want to keep our loyal fans behind a paywall. And what I can't believe about what we're about to announce is we're going to be on in all the same places that we've always been on. Sling Free Stream, Samsung TV Plus, Roku, Xumo Play, DraftKings Network, live on Max. We're going to be in a couple of other places as well that we're about to announce that makes it so. When we came out 3.5 years ago, we didn't want to put our fans behind a paywall, and we did not. We did it all ourselves, and it's been a little bit of a mess, and I've stumbled around, and I've had panic attacks, and I've been super scared. Hardest thing I've ever done professionally. But now the streaming services come to us, and we get to do all the same things that we've been doing, and now add other things that make it so. Not only have we left ESPN, or no longer on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, but we have no inhibitions about where we are on. We're on all over the place. And I'm going to let someone else in a few minutes make that announcement with fanfare in a way that's super exciting for us, because this has been a long journey with our fans. And I'm excited about that. I'm also excited because we've got Pipo t-shirts. They're up at lebatardaf.com. That's not the big announcement, but they are there right now. If you want to lure Pipo out of what appears to be retirement, lebatardaf.com is where you could purchase his merch right now and make Pipo a character that might come back, maybe, according to Billy Gill. Maybe.
I control these things.
Mario Cristobal controls more of it than we would like to admit. And so far, so good one weekend.
The University of Miami game, I do wonder, put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Can you win if your quarterback is named Mertz? The University of Florida threw out there, and this is a funny thing to watch this weekend, where I just hear, and that's Desmond Watson for the University of Florida that they're running toward. He's 450 pounds. I'm like, what? What?
Can't be
Number 21?
Yeah.
I love this guy.
Yeah, Fletcher.
Man.
Skied
well
over him.
I don't know if I would have noticed him if he wasn't wearing 21, though. There's just something about when you see that guy wearing 21, it's just like chef's kiss.
Greg, more like Fred Mertz.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Ethel Merman. Now you're talking.
not Ethel Merman. Fred Mertz is from I Love Lucy, no?
Yeah, where he wore his belt like so high.
Yeah, but Fred Mertz was married to Ethel Merman.
Was he?
I believe so. I could be wrong.
I think Greg's right.
You know, I may be wrong. I mean,
You're wrong.
That's even old timey for me. I mean,
Billy, you're supposed to support him.
Greg's right.
Thank you, Billy. I believe I am right.
What kind of contribution is that you don't know? This is what we're going to bring to more streaming services? You burping out some factual information that's not right about Fred Mertz and who he was married to?
Yeah,
that's how we're going to capture the young people?
Yes, please, let's do it. Everybody, Merman's coming back. So's Fred Mertz, thanks to this reference. But the Pipo T-shirts being on sale, I can't believe you got any announcement forthcoming that would top that. I mean, because Pipo T-shirts, I want Pipo back. I want him back. I've always thought Pipo was at his best when back Jack. That's right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Pipo's at his best when UM is awful or great.
Yeah.
Who are you saying that's right to? Because whatever you were saying that's right to was only said to you. It was
Yeah,
not...
you know.
So this is what we're bringing into the new age to keep it young.
Where did that come from? The Ethel Merman thing.
I'm going to have to be quiet here in a second because we're being introduced by someone else.
Ethel Merman?
And he is about to start and he's getting in position. So you're going to have to forgive me if I give a couple of seconds of silence for someone else to introduce us. You tell me, Chris, as
I will
the
let you know.
executive producer.
Don't you want to be interrupted by someone stumbling upon a Fred Mertz conversation? That's how I want to be, stumbled upon.
That's how you celebrate 20 years. That's how you do it.
Ethel Merman was born in 1908, and she has a section on her Wikipedia that's just labeled profanity.
Damn right. She invented it.
Well, she was not married to Fred Mertz, though.
Really?
That was Ethel Mertz.
That's who I'm thinking of. The great Ethels
I'm glad we got
of the
down to
early
the bottom of
20th century.
Ooh, top 5 Ethels?
You're not going to come up
Well, her
with
name
5.
was actually Vivian Vance, though.
You don't have 5 Ethels.
They actually never made Ethels.
Yeah, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are we still
JD?
making Ethels?
Did we ever?
And put that on. Did we ever? Well, we did make Merman. We made Ethel Merman.
But she wasn't even an Ethel.
Let me.
Oh, she was. There was another one that was Vivian.
Hold on.
Hey, Dan.
Yes,
Dan.
sir.
Yeah, it's Dan Patrick here.
Sorry we interrupted you. Professional as always, Dan.
Once again, I led in with the tagline, I think, for your show. If you think our show is bad, wait till you get a load of Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. What do you think?
What kind of intro is that? You're supposed to welcome me into the family.
I did until I couldn't get your attention. I was going to say nice things.
I've got a bad executive producer.
Okay. Join the club.
Oh. We're a match made in heaven. We've got an announcement to make. Who's making it? You or me?
Well, I just did. I just said you're going to follow our. This is bad.
Yeah, we started.
We
off
actually
bad.
planned. Dan, we planned this.
Yeah,
and
we
it
don't
sounds
plan
this
ours.
bad.
Yeah, we don't plan
emails.
ours. Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't
All
plan
right.
ours.
Yes, Seaton. Do you have a question?
Well, I was wondering with this big announcement, maybe we can change the name of our show to the Dan Patrick Show with Todd Fritz.
Oh,
similar to the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. We have Todd Fritz.
Oh.
I genuinely missed the announcement. What is the announcement?
Our audience, look, our executive producer was asleep at the wheel and totally missed the announcement. Can you make it again, Dan, please?
If you think our show is bad, wait till you get a load of this show, the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. It follows ours on Peacock.
Yes. All right, hold on. So Dan, we have a celebration. We've got a parade. We have a chorus. We have a marching band. We are ready. We are ready to join Peacock with Dan Patrick. Let's go, people. Let's go.
Okay.
We are
Stugotz
following
got it.
Dan Patrick. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is there a robbery going on? That's what it looks like. It looks like somebody's breaking in to rob you.
There's a. Where are your wings, Peacock? There's not a.
Oh, okay. That is.
Yes. Can we fix the confetti cannons, please? That stuff's not working back there. Don't injure your coworkers with the confetti cannon. Thank you. Please be careful. There are liability issues there.
I remember my first time on Peacock.
For those who haven't seen it, how would you describe your show, Dan?
Lesser in every way to yours. I want to tell your audience that Dan Patrick is a hero of mine. I am really thrilled to be behind him in the lineup.
I will say that Paulie is a hero of mine. That was an unfair shot by Dan Patrick at Paulie. I mean, I'm sorry.
What was the shot? He said Todd Fritz was the name that he was going to put on the show. What was the shot at Paulie?
He said he had a bad executive producer as well. Paulie is the executive producer. Paulie is an exceptional. In fact, he is in my top 5 executive producers of all time.
Wow. Really?
Top 5.
Really?
Wow.
Congratulations,
Let's
Paulie.
go.
And Fritzy is a top 5 guest booker of all time. How about that?
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Dan,
I'll take it.
I'm going to tell the people, I think they know this. You've heard me say it to you before, and I've said it to your audience before. You led the way with producers talking on the air and going to a confessional box to talk in breaks. You pioneered leaving ESPN, doing a show in your attic, and showed me how hard and doable these things are. So I really am thrilled that our thing gets to exist behind yours. In support of yours at your back, sir.
Because of DP, we heard from Ethan today. I mean,
that's right. That is what happened today. Another producer grabbed a microphone who shouldn't, Dan. You've got a lot of control over your microphones. I do not have any control over my microphones.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Once again, the Dan Le Batard Show, and you can see it on Peacock, and it'll follow our show. All right. Can I ask you some sports questions, or do you want me to do? I mean, my career feels like it's slowing down, and maybe dropped a peg or two with this, but
I don't believe it has. I am here to bolster you. We heard you're going to retire in 4 years. You made a big announcement that you were going to. It's like saying I'm going to retire in 440 years.
You might speed that up, Dan.
You're giving. That's right. I'm trying to rush you out the door by saying, look what happened to the industry.
Dan, you should announce your retirement today as well.
In 4 years. All right. You know what? I retire whenever Dan Patrick retires. We leave together. I'm announcing that as well today. Hey, everybody here, you've got the same amount of time to get out of the house that Dan's producers do.
December 24, 2027.
Jeez.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. We're
All
done.
right, let's do it together. I just announced that as well. Dan Patrick and I are retiring on the same day together.
Yeah, way to go. I think DP just locked you into working on Christmas Eve. I mean,
Okay, here's a question for you. What would be bigger if the Dolphins had a really, really, really successful season, or the Miami Hurricanes? If you could pick.
I would say that the Dolphins have always been the biggest story in this town, and the University of Miami gave us a fun run after the Dolphins did. But generationally, what's been handed down has been bigger for the Dolphins. The Dolphins put this city on the map, sports-wise. Don Shula has an expressway named after him. University of Miami was more interesting because they were controversial, but the Dolphins were simply excellent historically. And this century, neither one of them has been any good, Dan. And so people in South Florida who love football and have had it handed down from their grandparents, they have not seen, this generation has not seen a Dolphin team really matter. And they got so much hope that the one of the last 2 years that also hasn't mattered because it hasn't won a playoff game felt and sounded and looked like it mattered simply because they got an offense. So people here are starved for football, and that's been the franchise that always mattered. The Heat took this city away from them. If the Dolphins win, they'll take it back.
But you have a generation that didn't experience the U winning either. So you have generations with both of these teams that haven't seen, what the peak success story was for both of them.
You're right, and I would just say pro football trumps college football this isn't a college town. This was first a professional football town in sports.
You thought sports fans were mad when there was a playoff game exclusively behind Peacock. Now, imagine the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz not exclusively behind Peacock.
Yeah.
I should also announce we're going to be on Sirius XM Channel 85 as part of this too. We're gonna be, it's a dual.
Wow, back on the radio.
It's a dual announcement. That's right. Stugotz is back on the radio. Dan Patrick still dominates that. I will tell the audience, and forgive me, Dan, if I derail sports talk, but honest to God, you showed us the way. Like, there was a time in your career where you thought you couldn't do a radio show. And now you've got one of maybe 5 or 10 monsters that exist in sports in the United States.
Well, thank you.
But it's true, right? Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. I had a lot of people who helped along the way. But it was mostly me, of course. But I'm just saying, as you always take credit for all the things that you do on your show whenever I talk to you, it's like, God, did they get in the way of my greatness? And I'm like, yeah. I know the problem there, Dan. Finish this statement. The mission statement of the Dan Le Batard Show is...
wow, okay. This one's going to be hard. To try and be different in a environment that ought to be fun and sometimes isn't, because we spend a whole lot of time, criticizing, blaming, and also we talk about Trump some.
But you guys do some blaming, and you have some serious topics there, don't you?
Yeah, but I try not to be too terribly judgmental. Look, one of the many things I admire about you is that as shrill as all of this has gotten, in the center of it, you are a pillar of professionalism. And when you scorch someone, it matters because you're not doing it every day. You're not doing it to get aggregated. When you scorch someone, it means that someone distinguished is hitting someone hard, and you don't spend a lot of time there either. Like our show, our show often isn't cruel about human beings, and we also feature Stugotz.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Just what I need, another Dan in my life.
Well, all I know is it's one of the more interesting car rides that I've ever had in my life, though, with you, Stugotz, when I left Dan's wedding and you volunteered to take me back to my hotel.
Right.
How many things did he ask you for?
That's what you do for a friend.
How many numbers in your phone did he ask you for? How many famous people? How many things did he ask you for?
Well... Stugotz, can I say? I don't want to. Okay, he asked for a job if he ever left. Would I be interested in hiring him?
I did, yeah. Let it fly, Dan. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He asked me how much money he should be making. He talked about his daughters playing lacrosse.
Yeah, of course.
He wanted to know what I thought about his BMW. And he wanted to know if he could come in and have a drink. Not in that order.
How much money should he be making?
Not as much as he said, but a little more than he was getting paid. Let's put it that way. I should get 10% of that, Stugotz.
You got it.
Okay. I got to resume my regularly scheduled program here, Dan.
Good seeing you, buddy. I love you, and I'm thrilled. I really am thrilled that we're teaming up for the last 400 years of your career when you eventually retire.
How about a fake round of applause for the Dan Le Batard?
All right, yeah. Thank you. We love fake. Yeah, we love fake.
Yeah, we did it. Okay.
We did
All
something.
right.
We did something.
Thank you, Dan.
Something was done.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. Yeah, Stugotz took me home from Dan. It sounds weird. He gave me a ride home from Dan's.
I'm excited about this partnership, as you just heard, and I will tell the audience again, it's not just DraftKings Network, it's not just Xumo Play, it's not Samsung TV Plus, it's not just Roku, it's not just Sling Free Stream, it's not just Max, it's now also Peacock, NBC Sports Fast Channel, it is YouTube, and it is Sirius XM.
We're on the cock.
Yeah, there's a couple of paywalls on there, and this show fought hard to stay out of the way when it came to paywalls, but that's an exclusive sense. These are tremendous partnerships
for
our show. So now you have more options. If you like watching the Dan Patrick Show, we'll be on right after them. But if you're in a hurry to watch what we do, we'll still be kicking it live on YouTube. And, of course, the podcast is always going to be there.
Nothing changes for how it is you consume the show. We're just adding audience from a different place, and we're teaming up with somebody who is a genuine idol of mine, because
Thank you.
You gave your idol a lot of leeway because if one of us asked you to start this show,
Canes
who
or
needs
Dolphins?
a bigger season,
Right.
Canes or Dolphins, we would have been kicked out of this room immediately.
Yeah.
And you completely listened to that question.
Man.
and went along
that
with
was
it.
so kind of you.
Terrible question.
I wrote it down.
Respect
I had it written down. I mean,
You should have sent him to the penalty box.
You should have. He would have been so confused.
I do. You're guilty as charged. I did roll over on my back and allow him to tickle my belly with a question that was not what I would have liked.
where'd McLovin go? I noticed Seton moved from the front row to the back row. I don't know what that means. I feel like Fritzy is next. Who's getting that show after Dan Patrick?
I don't know what it means either when you move rows.
Can we talk about now that we're finally working with them, sort of, Show Olympics? It's been in the works for a long time. They think they're better than us, let's be honest. And they're not. We have 10 times as many athletes on our show as they have on their shows. We need to kick their ass.
We just have 10 times as many people that we're paying. He's got a very streamlined operation. I think he's got 11 or 12 employees. It's not a giant sprawling thing. He's very efficient with how he does it. We are not.
Okay, and your
That just
point is we're not going to out-athlete them?
Makes us
Strength
better at
in
the
numbers,
Olympics, okay?
yeah.
Like you,
Right.
that was a lot of context, but we didn't need it. It's all about kicking their ass and show Olympics.
They don't have a golden olie on their staff.
That's
But
right.
Yeah, you
Neither
tell
do
him.
we.
I don't think we have much more than 10 people either.
We have an alternate, though.
That's right. Frank is
No,
right.
I mean, he's got a total of 10 people. We're paying 23 people just to be at microphones. I'm not even counting video. His whole operation is like 11 or 12 people.
What idea was that?
Well, he knows how to conduct a business. I do not.
Well, did they talk about Ethel Merman today? I don't think so.
That's correct.
Yep.
Greg Cody's show only has 3 staff members, and one of them is speaking right now. We're a streamlined operation.
Who was on this week, by the way?
Well, we're live from Key West.
Oh, wow. Really?
We're embedded in the Jimmy Buffett second line
man.
funeral parade and celebration.
You really undersold your Mario Cristobal interview and how funny it would be when your phone just died.
I know. That was the week before. Yeah, that's still there.
You really undersold how funny that was.
It was
for the listener.
I can't believe Mario took it well. He called me back to finish the conversation.
The audience didn't hear that part, but yeah.
Mario's feeling good this year.
He's been very good. Yeah, I'm pro Mario. I'm happy for his belated success.
I'm surprised he called back because usually coaches will take, or anyone being interviewed will take that opportunity to get the hell out of there.
Absolutely. You're right.
So what's the deal with the show Olympics? Did we find a tiebreaker, or where do we stand on that?
That's going to be next week. We're going to have to pull something out our ass.
Oh.
I'm not sure exactly.
Is that
what
one
we're
of the
doing.
contests?
Pulling something out of your ass?
I can think of worse things to do, quite frankly.
We're looking for the perfect competition. If anyone has any suggestions out there, we don't know. We want it to be random, but we want it to be fair. So we're kind of up in the air.
This partnership means we can air the Olympics instead of our show, right?
Yes.
We have the Olympics now. We own it.
That is part of
The
what this
rings are
means.
ours.
And Notre Dame.
Let's do it.
Wow, we get Notre Dame too.
Wow.
I'm telling you, Florida should look at that D coordinator.
Greg,
Stay away from Al Golden.
a live show from Key West. You wrote a column in your underwear off of University of Miami and the University of Florida.
Figuratively.
It was Jimmy Buffett's death parade?
It was the 1-year anniversary of his passing, and he has such a cult following. Stugotz knows this with Deadheads. Jimmy Buffett has something similar with Parrot Heads. I thought this would be like a sad-ish parade of a couple of hundred fans, all my age, all drunk, some of them wearing parrot hats. It was thousands and thousands of people, probably 5,000 people. A second-line parade, New Orleans style, is a celebration of life. And, there were brass bands, beach balls flying in the air. It was really a special occasion. And my wife's always been a huge Buffett fan, and we were right in the middle of this parade, so it was kind of neat. And I'm doing content, right from the parade with all the ambient noise and everything, so it's pretty cool.
Was it good, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of up shots at my dad's nose on Zoom.
He's got giant nostrils.
Yeah, he does. The Cody men.
I have Cody nostrils.
I believe your nose and ears never stop growing.
Well,
And
mine
belly button.
certainly haven't.
Huh.
Neither has Stu's.
Belly button? I don't think that's right.
I
I've
heard
seen the
that.
belly button.
Talking about my nose.
Just his belly button.
Oh, well, yeah. But that's just me. I'm pressing it in right now
benign.
self-consciously. Thank you for the mention, though, Jess.
Because Stugotz often lies. That's what
I
it was.
got it. I said it.
what I was doing.
The nose, right?
Because Pinocchio was a character who
There's going to be confetti falling from this ceiling for about 2 years.
There's still confetti falling from the Clevelander ceiling from the number of times that we got mean on the handshake.